I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up. Man, it feels so good to be back on here with you guys. It's funny because we were at the HFA show and we're talking about how we're at an event for Body Solid after hours, actually, at the from the HFA show. And Naomi and I were talking about how I don't need an alarm clock to wake up at 4 a.m. to put the finishing touches on prep for this show. And today was no exception. So before I get too far into it, let's go ahead and welcome in the loveliest co-host in the land. That's right, my lovely wife, Naomi. So first of all, got to play the theme song. That's right. Hey,
Morning, everybody. How are ya?
hey. All right, so I know that's what you guys are really here for. Some of y'all think I could just go ahead and leave, but it's too bad. You got to deal with me too. All right. So anyway, I am John Greaves III. I'm the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. This is my wife Naomi, and we just got back from the HFA show, and I was just telling them before I brought you on about how we were at that event for Body Solid, and you were telling people how I wake up without the alarm clock. 4 o'clock. Actually, usually I'm supposed to wake up at 4.
3 o'clock.
I wake up.
3 o'clock
Yes.
this morning.
Bam. Let's go.
No.
And I go from asleep to awake. I don't have to ramp up.
Make a party of one. Party of one.
I like this. I'm here to spread love, baby.
No.
I'm here to spread love.
No, what you're going to do is you're going to spread violence.
I'm here to spread love, baby. Spread love because everything is everything.
No.
What's that dude on Instagram say? It's purple. It's hilarious.
I'm still like, Nora came in this morning and she's over there complaining because she doesn't have the blankets, and she's over there
wrestling. What a first world problem.
Wrestling with Mystique for the blanket, and I'm just laying there going, 3 o'clock.
It's definitely, and so we are a little bit jet lagged because we were just on the West Coast. So we were in California from Saturday afternoon until really
Thursday morning.
Yeah, because we left there. Our flight didn't leave till like 9 something.
10:30.
10:30. That's right.
Because boarding at 9.
We were boarding at 9 something ish, right? And we left at 10:30. So we were there until Wednesday night, which is actually after midnight here, right?
Way after midnight.
Yeah, and then we got here. The plane landed maybe 5 a.m.
Nope.
A little after that, because we didn't get home till 7 something.
Yeah, we actually landed around. It was like 5:55, but we didn't get to the gate till like 6:05, 6:10 almost.
Yeah,
and Atlanta airport it's a big airport. It's easy to navigate, which I love so much.
Yeah, unlike the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, which
I get to enjoy this week coming up. Yeah,
hey, you know what?
But it's
thank you.
Cause.
We appreciate your tribute.
So
anyway, so for those of you who are new here, you're like, what have I just stumbled? What is YouTube showing me? So take it on faith, hit like and hit subscribe. Because this is going to be something that's unlike any other show that's in the fitness industry that you see on YouTube. So our channel, this is the easiest way for me to explain it. Our channel is designed like a magazine with different sections. So each playlist is a section of the magazine. This show is like the main article, right? That you would say, this is our thing that would be on the cover of the magazine, and you go there to find out, the latest, the most pivotal stuff, right? So this show is the place you want to be. And what we do is we cover the topics, the people, events that matter to the home gym community. And unlike a podcast, we get your live reactions along the way. So I'm going to ask you multiple times, post your questions and comments in the live chat. We want you to talk to us. We don't want to just talk at you. We want to converse with you. All right. So now that we got that kind of Did I leave anything out in like what this is?
You know, you've had since 3 o'clock in the morning. I think you fine-tuned it. You did a good job.
Fine. I've been working on it. You know, I've
Yeah.
been practicing in the mirror. You know, I didn't wake you up, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So now that we know who, you know, what the show really is,
Mhm.
let's go ahead. And before we check out who's in the live chat, Naomi, or you want me to do the read?
I can go ahead and do the rundown.
All right.
to
So
show what
Naomi's
it
going to
is.
do the read.
Oh,
All
thank you
right.
for the top. Slightly sleep deprived, but here we go. So at 6:15 Eastern Standard Time, we have news and other things with me. And then at 6:45, we have the Recliner of Rage, and the towel disrespect has hit a new lows. Now, I
This
don't
will
think
not
so,
stand.
but we'll talk about it. Then in the second hour at 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central, we're going to be reacting to our trip to the HFA Trade Show. And then finally at the 3 o'clock hour, or third hour, I should say, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, we have Tyler Klein, the Director of Customer Experience at PRX Performance, join us to talk about exciting things they have going on this year. And maybe we'll talk to him about giving us a sneak preview of what they're bringing to Home Gym Con.
I'm going to do my best to get him to. You guys know when people come on here, sometimes they have no intention. They'll say it too. They say, you know, I didn't plan on saying this. I'm like, no, you can trust us. Just go ahead. Right now, there's only 655 other people here. We got to get that number up. There you go. 684, going in the right direction. That's right. So let's just say, who would Jesus share this show with, and do it? All right. But yeah, it's we'll see if we can get Tyler to reveal some stuff he didn't plan on revealing. All right, let's go ahead and I gave you plenty of time to, you know, but now it's time for us to call roll, just like in school. Hope you see who we're taking attendance. Let's go. So first in the building is Carlos at Carlos _CBSTCR. That is an awesome channel. We enjoy watching it every Friday. In fact, I missed being able to watch it last Friday.
We missed it on Friday and Saturday, actually,
Yeah,
because he does the 2 streams, but we just
because we had stuff happening.
We
right?
were held hostage.
Oh wait, this past Friday he didn't do one because he did it Thursday. That's right. He was streaming behind our back. Or he's streaming because remember you had to catch him.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Naomi.
That's right.
Yeah, Naomi caught Carlos streaming behind our back on a Thursday.
Saturday we didn't because we were held hostage. But our cutest grandkids.
Hey, look, I'm sorry, but I'm not. Man, I'm in full. Naomi can tell you, I'm in full grandpa mode. Okay.
Laura on this side, Valentina on this side, and both hands are tied by little Joe.
JJ. Yeah.
JJ,
hey, I'm just telling you. All right. So he said, man, this is the best show on YouTube on Friday mornings. I appreciate that, my man. I appreciate that. Balance and Grace Coaching. Hey, Letha, we were in California at the same time. She was in Los Angeles for the RitFit pop-up. I saw that, and it was so hectic. I probably forgot to actually comment, but I saw her in some of the promotional images that RitFit put out. So super excited to get that opportunity. Yeah, I think she said she flew out on Monday, so she was flying out Monday when HFA was cranking up, and I said, man, I wish I had said something because she could have made plans. Because you'll see later on, Letha, why we think that would be a good show. HFA is a good show for you to check out. She said, wake up, friends. It's Friday, another day to celebrate the blessing of life. 100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
All right, then let's see here. Sean from Colonial Barbell Club, another cool YouTube channel for you guys to check out, says stacking Fridays and it feels so good. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. That's right. Now you got Kanye West in my head. Before that, but in the same comment, he made me think of Tony and Kanye West. It feels good. Yep. Because the rhythm feels good to you, baby. Let me hear you say.
Listen, I don't know what it is. So now that song's going to be stuck in my head.
You're welcome.
John from Major Fitness and the name of one of their power racks has that song stuck in my head. Yeah. So it's
It is what it be's. Thanks. All right. Let's see. B. Ruiz. Good morning. Believe she's joining us from Chicago. Said good morning. Happy first day of spring. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Heck, I didn't realize it was St. Patrick's Day, and Naomi was like, she's like, we're gonna have to pinch each other because we're not wearing green. But to the rescue was, it's too far for me to reach.
Yeah,
was my HFA badge that had green on it. I said, back up off me.
Yeah. Shout out to content creator.
That's right. That's it. Trevor, what's up, man? Trevor said, let's go. You know what, Trevor? This would probably be a good place to put that question that you had for me, the one that you texted me. I answered you, but the question about the pants, I'll let you phrase it how you want, or you can put it on Mailbag Mondays. I think that'll give me time to prepare. So yeah. But I'll get you a good answer on Mailbag Mondays.
Okay.
Hold up a second. Is that a unauthorized piece of unprepared bacon?
It's not partially unprepared. No, it's perfect bacon.
Let me show you some. Okay.
It is perfect.
Did I put this thing up here? I'm gonna look
if you bring up your Instagram post about the bacon and the Philly cheesesteak.
All I'm saying. Oh, no. So, man, I forgot all about that. That post. I was gonna pull up. It was on it. I believe it's on Instagram though, but it's not that post. It is also bacon related. I must confess. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so boom. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. So that's right, the first screen share of the day. So I know how y'all like those. That's it. This is gonna happen all show. All right, so let's share the screen real quick. Share that screen. Look at it. See that? So that was my bacon from the buffet, right? And I said in the post, 10 out of 10 master chefs make their bacon crispy. All right. I picked up the bacon and I dropped it on my plate. All right. Hold on. This is run by a master chef. You see the bacon is crispy. See that? All I'm saying is this is run by a master chef. You see the bacon is crispy. That's all I'm saying. All right. So whenever a professional in the field, a master of their craft cooks bacon, okay, it is crispy.
It should not be a stabbing hazard. I'm just saying.
Listen. As Drez would say from Black Sheep, I'm very musical today. Drez would say listen, honey. Bacon is meant to be crispy. All right. That's it. That's all I'm saying. All right. Carlos said he goes busted. Yeah, we caught you streaming behind our back.
Yep.
The audacity, as Nora would say. Let's see. All right. So believe it or not, we're back to the rundown. Carlos said, let's go. Got a little sleep in your voice. Glad to have y'all back safely. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Literally, so it's Friday. All right. We got back yesterday morning, got home at like 7:45. Naomi took a power nap. I just stayed awake and started working on the show because I still had to send out questions, links, and all that other kind of stuff to our guest for the day. A lot. Everything was a lot. Okay. So I didn't, and then I crashed. I put soup on the stove. I put frozen soup on the stove to warm up so I could have lunch. Fell asleep. And when I woke up, Naomi said they rescued it because it was almost dried down.
Well, as Mommy put it, it had. Because
my bad. Sorry, Mommy.
I thought
she's watching. Sorry, Mommy.
I thought Mommy was cooking, but then the other side of me was like, but I saw her leave the house. And I was helping out with, I was at work. So I'm trying to stay focused in my conversation. And I'm like, who's cooking? And so, because I hear you snoring. That's the part. Again,
that's a battle cry, as we discussed. That's a battle cry. That's part of the security system for the house.
Sure.
Beware, let evildoers beware of what lives here. Okay, but test me if you wanna.
And we've now made it very clear that moving forward, you are not allowed to put anything.
I'm not allowed to put anything on the stove if I'm sleepy. Okay.
Nope.
We have some unusual house rules, but they work. I'll accept that. Carlos said, "Naomi,
morning,"
and disrespect with, "Hey, John." Yeah, whatever, man. I ain't talking to you. He said the early bird gets the bacon. I'm telling you, and it's going to be crispy. It's going to be quick. It's going to be crispy. Question for Tyler. All right, I'll start that. So Carlos wants to know about the flight. Okay, so there's
It's about 3
Right now,
hours.
there's a 3-hour time difference, but
Right.
also
It's
3
about
hours of time of
4.
travel time.
It was about a 4-hour flight.
Well, it's hard because you're losing time as you're coming back, so it's hard to keep track of like whatever. But yeah, and then also I think the flight out was longer because we hit those winds, hit the turbulence.
Actually, we arrived early.
But remember, we hit the well, maybe they threw us the rest of it. But remember, the plane was doing like that when we were flying out.
Well, I think
Because
anytime
I remember it that
we fly out west, whether it's to Vegas, to California, something about, I don't know, maybe it's the mountain midway in the United States, there's always turbulence when you hit around Texas.
Yeah.
And so
That should tell
whenever
you
the plane
something.
starts to kind of, do a little wonky dance, I'm like, I'll go ahead and look in the mountains. Like, Texas. That's it.
Yeah,
So that's the only thing I can. That's my theory.
That's good enough for me. I mean, I don't have a
Oh.
theory. All I know is I don't like it when the pilot gets on the thing to talk and his voice is vibrating because the plane is moving so much. It's like, yeah, so guys, just we're trying to stay calm. I'm like,
It wasn't. First of all, the flight was not like that. I actually, so I like the little bump.
He sounded concerned. Okay, and when he sounded concerned, I sounded concerned too.
I sound more concerned, or I feel more concerned when the plane is on the ground and it's warming up and testing its systems and whatnot, and you hear like certain grinding noises that I'm
hey,
like,
man, did something just fall off? Hey,
like, do you guys
need that?
Do you need to put some oil on that?
That's right. On the way back, he's like, yeah, so we got a little bit, like, don't tell me about the mechanical defects. Because he was like, remember, he's like, yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna be flying out. It's gonna take us a little. I'm sorry, so he said, I'm sorry, it's so hot on the plane, but he said something had malfunctioned. So they said, so we're just doing a workaround. I'm like, workaround? Hey man, don't tell me less.
I didn't hear it.
That's why it was hot. Well, you probably liked it because you like the heat. But he's like, yeah. So once we get up in the air, we'll be able to turn the AC on. I'm like, hey man, if you can't start the plane without having the AC on at the same, look, if I'm driving my car and I gotta wait to turn the air conditioner on to after I get going, wouldn't you tell me I need to take it to the shop?
So
before you pick up passengers, listen.
Was there an engine light on? Maybe that you know what?
The check engine light was on the plane.
Yeah, like I don't. So again, if I'm hearing mechanical issues and we're on the ground, that's when I kind of worry. Other than that, when we're taxiing and we're on that runway when we take off, I'm good. Like John will tell you, I'll fall asleep. I actually love that feeling of takeoff and landing. Love it.
She does. I mean, I've seen it in action multiple times. She falls asleep when we take it off.
So it's like that doesn't bother me.
But trying to get to heaven well rested just in case.
But if I'm hearing like all the mechanical stuff, then I'm like, In fact, I was the lady across the row from us, just slightly up. She's like, and she turns and she looks at me and I look at her and I'm like, I was like, I still have my bag under the seat. I can grab it if we need to go.
I will get up off of here because I know this plane didn't come with parachutes for everybody. Flight attendants are prepared. I don't feel like the rest of us are. Anyway, Dustin says, good morning, class. What's up, man? We just here rambling. I promise at some point we'll talk about fitness stuff.
Yep.
Let's see. We got some. Okay, so Carlos said too crispy. Incorrect. I mean, you can burn bacon. I'm not saying I like burnt bacon. I'm saying that if you know what you're doing, you can make it crispy without burning it. And if you burn your bacon anytime you try to make it crispy, you need to get your life together. But I like crispy bacon. If
it becomes a health concern, there's a problem.
Trevor said crispy bacon is like a well-done steak, which is what I like. I like well-done. I don't like. I feel
that I cannot get behind.
Well, steak he doesn't. I don't think he likes well-done steak.
To medium rare.
Remember, he's on your team uncooked bacon, so he likes probably uncooked steak as well. And I'm just saying, let me tell you something.
Steak.
Right. It's a good starting point. So especially if I go to a restaurant and you bring me something that you ain't finished cooking, I'm like, did you want help with that? It's like that Korean restaurant where we went, we paid all that money and they're like, we brought you supplies so you can cook it. I'm like, let me tell you something.
It's called Korean barbecue for a reason. You are doing the grilling. You make it to the party.
I'm not Korean for a reason. I say, listen, I came here, I paid you. This ain't a grocery store. I didn't come in like, oh, let's pick out I expect to see a shopping cart.
The cutting and everything else. They did all the butchering. In some cases, they've even done the
then it should cost less because I didn't have to work.
Oh boy.
Like, look, I don't work here. These are my
it's not 6:45 yet.
These are my clothes. I don't work
It's
here.
not 6:45 yet.
I'm just saying. This wasn't even planned. I'm just saying, if I go to a restaurant and you want me to do half the work, I
I
either need a
like that.
paycheck, a uniform, at least a button, a name tag, something. I'll work over there. All
And
right.
this is
Anyway,
why Nora and I like to go out and eat. The
yes, and
boys and I like to go out and eat.
I support your habits. All right. Trevor said, I expect aircraft issues. I flew on enough C-130s as expected. Okay, there I give you that.
Mhm.
But I also say that there's a difference between erratic flying when we're doing combat flying, and also when it's a C-130 and they've been using it since Vietnam. But I will
Mhm.
also say that I expect civilian aircraft to have been more recently purchased and come off the factory floor. And so I would like for stuff to not fall off. I don't want you to say, like the check engine light's been on for about 2-3 trips. It'll be all right. No, it won't. It'll be all right if you fix it. And then I get on the plane.
So I won't name the airline or anything like that, but I'll just say it's a budget-friendly airline. And I don't know
That's
if
the
it was
spirit. Don't tell them. Don't talk about them. What? I'm agreeing with. I'm encouraging you to not name their name. I said that's the spirit. It's good. I mean, in the
Okay,
spirit of
so
not revealing their name.
so there's a budget airline, and I don't know if it was
What?
AI generated or not, but it was I saw it on Instagram. And
Lila?
again, no. So there's a worker putting the gray duct tape on the wing to hold it in place. And I was like, that's just wrong. Now, granted, I was kind of flipping through it, and John's algorithm on his on any of his Instagram, YouTube, anything, he's not allowed to touch my phone because he's not messing with my algorithm or anything like that. So when I saw, so when I saw that, I kind of chuckled, and I'm like, well, how did that get on my feed? And I was like, well, I'm airline, but when I saw that, I was like, again, it had to be AI generated, but it made me chuckle. It made me pause for a second, but also made me chuckle, because again, I like flying.
So yeah, I like flying too. I like landing successfully mostly.
That too.
So I'm just saying. All right. So we gotta go because we're running out of time. So we gotta get into the first segment. Well, that was technically the first segment, but you know what I mean. All right, let's go. News and other things. Okay, so first news item is thank you to all of you guys because Mailbag Mondays was a success from what I could tell. Got a lot of positive comments. We watched between workshops and meetings and stuff on Monday. And I'm just saying, Kevin. So first of all, also
shout out to Kevin.
My bad. I thought I changed the intro. We have 2 different intros in our little media. I don't know what you call it. Our media pack or whatever. There's a collection of media
toolkit.
On the media toolkit on the and so you have to designate, but it's the one studio. So you have to designate which intro you're using for what thing. And I forgot to switch the intro to Mailbag Mondays. And so it played the intro for Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life, which is ironic. And Kevin even said, well, maybe it's because I'm getting up way too early because it was like 4:00 in the morning for him. Right. In fact, after the show, after Mailbag Mondays, he went back to sleep. He said, I'm going to catch a nap before I got to go to work. So I appreciate you for being on there, Kevin. It was
an
awesome.
Outstanding job. You did an else. I mean, amazing, Kevin. Thank you. Great job.
Okay, so hold on now. And speaking of Kevin's who is watching. He said, Naomi, you're good with Japan's yakiniku restaurants. John, you're banned. Grilling. So I'm gonna tell you like this. I've spent 52 years not eating there, so you ain't hurting my feelings. All right, but anyway, he said grilling the meat is part of the experience. I don't mind grilling the meat. Okay, it's part of the experience. He said cooking it well done will make the meat police angry, the real staff. And I would say if the real staff wants it cooked the way they want it cooked, then I guess they should do the cooking.
Let's put it this. I love to grill.
I like grilling. I do. I like. Okay. I like it. I like it. Yes. That's why you do the grilling, because the way I like it is not the way that the rest of y'all like it. So I'm just like, hey, it's easier for me to just say, hey, Naomi, make sure you do mine well done. And everybody else, y'all can have your raw meat. And
Everybody has a perfect steak, and he has a hockey puck.
Pause, just in case. Pause. All right. All y'all. Yeah, but me, I'm like, it's easier to do that than for me to just cook it, and then y'all be like, well, I'd like to, oh no, maybe just a little bit. I like a little bit of pink, and I'm just like, hey man, look, if you want your meat, pause. If you want your steak to still have a good chance of jumping up and running away while you're trying to eat it, hey, that's on you. I like for it to show up at the plate already subdued. I paid you to kill it. I paid you to kill it and cook it. You want help with the no.
It should taste it should like melt in your mouth.
No. Yeah, no. How about that? How about no? Carlos said what the puck and whatever. I'm just saying I like well done food. Also, you got to remember I grew up in a West African culture partially, and so we want to cook the food because we don't want incidents. So there, Trevor says, show me on the food pyramid who hurt you as a child. I'm just saying, like, we cook the food because I'm like, hey, man, I don't want to have, there's certain experiences I don't want to have. All right. I like collecting experiences, but I don't want to collect that. Okay. So there. All right. So, and Carlos said, Kevin did that, baby. I'm telling you, you did a fantastic job.
Fantastic job.
We definitely got to have you back.
In fact, I think one of the things that completely off topic, but when you had mentioned, Kevin, that there was
that's what we do here.
That's apparently that's the theme. When you mentioned with the solar panels that you have solar panels for your electricity.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that on the plane, like
that you have no electric, like your electric bill is zero. I was like, seriously? Like, we were speechless. I mean,
what?
Even like just out of the blue. And for those of you that watch it, you know that at random, he'll say 0 electric bill.
Yeah,
I was like, I know.
And she knew exactly what I was talking about.
0 electric bill. I'm like, what are we doing? What are you doing wrong here? You know? Yeah. And yeah. So
additionally, we do have so the next item I want to talk about wait, before we finish the Mailbag Mondays and the thing, make sure you guys subscribe to Kevin's channel. Because we want to see his channel grow. He looks like he got a little bit of a bump from the show, but do me a favor, go to @HomeGymGains on YouTube and just click that subscribe button. You're gonna see a lot of, and he's doing live stream workouts, things like that. So you guys make sure. Yeah, in fact, I'll put this back up again. Make sure you guys subscribe to Home Gym Gains on YouTube. Help his channel grow. He's got really interesting content. And the thing I like the most about it is it's not the same kind of content that we do. So you're going to get a different perspective, not just culturally, but also just in terms of how he presents the information and the kind of content he has on it. So if you're for cool stuff to just have on and watch, interact with, Home Gym Gains on YouTube is the place that you should go. Okay. All right. Now, got some new stuff for the gym, and it's actually these muscle wall hooks. Let me see if I can put these up here. So this is what they look like. All right.
And so
all right, and so they were so those are the muscle wall. Those are the applications we used them for. Just got them in. We actually had them for a couple of weeks, but as you can see, they're still in the box. And once I figure out how to open them, there we go. Okay. So just so you guys get an idea of the size. This one right here. I guess does this make this an unboxing video? This is not
officially. Yeah.
This isn't sponsored. So it's packaged like that. And it's just one of the little things that I like to get from Etsy. So let me get out of here. All right. So this is what it looks like. And I just like it because it's very heavy, by the way. So these are probably about a pound. It's probably weigh about a pound. But I like to obviously use it to hang stuff that is a little too heavy for just wall adhesive stuff. But it goes very well in the gym, like little accent pieces. And that's where it's mostly going to be used. Because I got this so that like we have you can see it in the video.
The cable, the power cable.
Right there. Yeah. So you said we have doubles. So right up there, you see like our live stream or recording sign that we put on the outside, that we put on the doorknob is doubled. And then over here, we tend to hang like headphones on top of that, and so we just didn't have enough of them. So I went ahead and I got them. If you guys are interested in grabbing them for your home gym, just let me know. I'll put the link to get these. Again, this is not sponsored. I'll put the link to get them in the video description. I was thinking about putting one you ain't gonna be able to see it, but basically on the wall, but down here a little bit to hang some of the other stuff that I have to bring in here with me. Okay. They come in packs of 6, and there you go. So the other item that we just got is the Black Widow cambered Swiss bar. And I don't think I talked about it during the show last week. I had it on the rundown, but I think we ran out of time. So this is a quick overview of it, and I'll talk about it while this plays. So this is the bar. Comes with the standard black textured powder coat. I got it to give me increased range of motion for bench press, because you could do the same thing with a dumbbell bench, but we don't have dumbbells that are heavy enough to give me the training effect I'm looking for. And so that's why I got this. But for you, Naomi, you might like it more for rows, because you're gonna get better range. So like now, since I watch you closely, for training feedback, yeah,
Family friendly.
So I'm just saying, I watch you close. So anyway, so I noticed that if you're doing barbell rows, the bar tends to, like, you're trying to figure out like where to bring the bar, and you're not able to really work your upper back because with a standard barbell, right? Because it hits your torso. So with this, you get a little bit more room, and so you can get better range of motion for rows. It weighs, I want to say it weighs like 30 pounds. I want to say it's not as heavy as now it's got thick handles, but it's not as heavy as a normal barbell.
Okay.
So this is
a little heavier than a training bar, but not as heavy as an Olympic bar.
Yeah, let me see what his let me see, because he's got it on, obviously, on his website, and let's see if I can't find it. So this is the cambered Swiss bar. Let me go ahead and I'll share the screen real quick. Let me stop sharing this. So
and I do have rows scheduled program for tomorrow. So
oh yeah, cool. So you'll be able to so this is the breakdown of it. It got multiple handles. Oh yeah, so it's 33 pounds. Yeah. So like I said, it's it's got knurling, but it doesn't have, to me, the knurling isn't as aggressive as on the bars that I like. So it's more like just enough to give you a secure grip, so you don't feel like the thing I was complaining about with that other brand's stuff, where I was like, yeah, the knurling just isn't good. It's too slick. This is something, you won't have that problem with this. So I'm interested to get your feedback on it when you use it for rows. And then I'm going to use it for close grip, or for as an accessory movement on Monday after regular bench presses. All right. So if you guys are interested in grabbing that, again, this is not sponsored. I can post the link to it in the video description. Let's see if we got any questions about it before we go. Say, hold up. Oh, now that's a thought. Oh, okay. So first of all, Carlos said you should subscribe to Home Gym Games because Kevin has smooth dance moves. That is not what got my attention just now. I'm just making sure that I post that comment. But Trevor had a fantastic idea. He said we should take 2 of these and use it put them side by side, and use it as a stand to put the YouTube play button.
That's a great idea.
Then because then you can see it's harder to see this, but look at the contrast, right?
Yeah.
Now I do need to get a filter for my screen, because that's what's glaring. That's what's causing the glare on the play button, so it's hard to see it. But yeah, that's actually a really good idea, because I was looking for how to hang it up,
right?
And I think this actually might be that idea might be a better way, man. I like that. That's a dope idea. See, that's why I love this show. All right. let's see here. So we had 635, and did I say this thing about the sleeve length?
You did not.
Okay, so you could use it with bumper plates. It's got 11.5 inches of plate loading space for Olympic plates, but that would be normal plates. So you can use it for bumper plates, but you're not gonna. I mean, I guess Dustin might be using a lot of weight, but most people should be able to get by with like 2 45-pound bumpers for rows. And Jared too. Jared showed me some Pendley rows the other day, yesterday, maybe 2 days ago. He's pretty strong in those. So if he's going to use it for rows, that's gonna, you're probably not going to want to use bumper plates. But if you're not going past 225, you probably be okay. With this bar for rows. Kevin said, thanks everybody. I'm definitely down to do more shows. Man, I'm telling you. Now the challenge was the time difference. So he said during daylight savings time, it's kind of rough on him because I guess they don't have daylight savings time in Japan. So it changes the time zones for us. And so that makes it rough on him because it's actually earlier in the morning. So, but we'll work it out. We'll definitely work it out. I know it's ironic that it's easier for him to come on Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life because it's in the evening for him.
Right.
But yeah, so we'll work out something, man. We'll work out something, definitely. All right, let's see here. Did I miss any comments that are on there? No. All right. So there was something that I said I was gonna say. It had to do with one more airplane story. Yes, I said I was not going to miss this because I think it's hilarious.
Okay.
So Naomi has the gift of hospitality. We actually had a we actually were tested at church, and they can do a thing to say, well, what are your spiritual gifts? Right?
Like your personality.
Yeah, it's basically like a personality type. It's not like spiritual gifts, like what's miraculous thing can you do? Well, for me, if I did, it'd be a miracle. But but it's more like, like where do you lean? Like what area of service would you be best suited for, right?
Right.
So that's why they gave us the test. So her gift of hospitality, of making people feel welcome, of meeting people's needs in person is like, it's like this, right? Mine is like this. So
yours was actually the complete opposite.
Mine is like, mine is like kind of like that, right? Hers is like there's not enough room. Okay. So yeah, I say hi to you. All right. What else you want? So because in person, I tend to be more like I want to observe you, see if like we vibe. Also, are you dangerous? Just to be frank. It's like, are you dangerous? All right. Do I want to be? And I'm not saying this dangerous to me in terms of like, are you a threat to me? But I'm saying like, is what you're doing something I want to be involved with? Right. So I say all that so you guys will understand what I'm about to tell you next. So we get on the plane, and there's a woman who speaks apparently mostly Portuguese.
Yes.
Mostly Portuguese. Her English is minimal.
It's good. Right? So like if she's watching the channel, you're doing great. You're doing good. Keep up the good work.
Keep doing what you did to Naomi. Yes. All right. So well, I said the same thing you said. So anyway, so she sits down, and this we've had a pattern over the years of knowing each other, over the last 25 plus years of knowing each other, where like Naomi will engage with somebody and I'll be like, oh, this is a bad idea. And I'm like, I'm out. Right. So the lady sits down and she starts asking Naomi questions. Right. And it was like the menu, the lunch menu or whatever.
Asked, right. What time is lunch?
What time is lunch? We're on a plane. We're on a plane. Okay, what time is lunch? Like, once the beverage car come by? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
So she's asking a bunch of questions, right? And I can see her like kind of like twisting, and I'm like, man, I'm tired. I don't really want to do this right now. And so, so she's coming, and I can see her head turning because she can see Naomi. Naomi's right next to her. She can see Naomi right in her eye line, but she can't really see me. So she kind of leans this way around so she can see around Naomi. Her head starts to turn. As I see it coming, I said, oh, danger. And by the time she would have made eye contact with me, I'm like, I act like I'm sleeping, right? So, whoo, disaster averted, right? So then she goes back to Naomi. Man, I'm so glad I did that. So she puts you through this whole thing asking you about the menu. You're telling her all the stuff they had. She then
all I did was show her the menu, and the lady had already
they're talking about
explained.
cheese. And
Well, because someone had already ordered fruit and cheese plate that they had for $14, by the way.
Yeah.
$14. Just want to say.
Cheeses and different
And
various
it's
items.
about this big. Okay.
Yeah. All this.
But
went through all of that. Y'all talk for a significant amount of time.
Didn't have any of those. So I'm showing it to her because she is asking, but the lady can't hear. The flight attendant can't hear. I was gonna call her stewardess. That's no longer the name.
That's
flight attendant. Couldn't hear her, so I had showed her the menu and I explained to her. I said no queso. You know, like there's no.
So now Naomi's translating for her with the stewardess, right?
I mean,
the
Spanish
flight attendant.
Portuguese, they have a common.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, like this
background.
Great multicultural interaction. Go through all of that, and the woman said, "Yeah, I'll take a water."
I put the menu back, and I'm like, okay.
So now I gotta pretend I'm still sleeping, right? But I'm over there like, so I'm laughing, but I gotta act like I'm just fidgeting in my sleep because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So then Naomi falls asleep, and all of a sudden she jerks awake, and I'm like, "What's the matter?" Right? Because the lady had, so like the armrest is between you. The woman I decided they're friends, so she moved the armrest. Like, yeah, I don't want this armrest between me and my new friend. So she.
That was the shocking part because I'm like, there's a. So I lift the armrest when it's, John and I are sitting next to each other because, we share space. When I noticed that the armrest was moved on the other side of me, I'm like, we're cool, but not that cool. I've traveled with friends, I've gone on girls trips and, shout out to Rachel.
I'm sweating.
We don't have the armrest.
Just remembering, I'm sweating now. Just remembering.
It was just kind of like, okay. That's interesting.
So she jerked because she's like, I guess the woman leaned into her or something like that, and I'm like, hey, what's that? And that got my attention. I turned around, the woman that moved the arm. I was like, hey, look, I only married one of you. And then when we're trying to leave, to get off the plane, trying to get off the plane. Obviously, I always block so that Naomi can get out, right? So I'm blocking so that Naomi can get out. But then I'm next. I'm right behind her. And the woman's like trying to go to, I'm like, I only married one of y'all. Peace. Good luck to you. I pray for you. Now, so again, gift of hospitality. I'm not about to, I don't let people get between me and my wife. I'm like, no, because I don't know. It's also because I don't know what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. In certain situations, they could hire a woman. Yes, you think I'm paranoid, I know. But they could hire a woman. They say, okay, well, we're going to take her. So we're going to hire a woman to get between them, to get his attention so that there's a space and then they can separate us.
They'll return me.
Not now. Well,
they'll return me.
They won't get a chance because anyway. So that's just how I am. So I don't let people get between us. And I'm like, all right, same reason I walk to the street side whenever we go somewhere. Mm-hmm. And that's just the way it's going to be. So anyway, but she tried to get out. I was like, no, you feel like y'all bonded entirely too much. I just laugh.
No.
I still think it's funny.
So I thought you were also going to mention while we were waiting to get on the plane to come back home, and that I'm just leaning up against John because again we're waiting for the plane to arrive and whatnot, and all of a sudden this little kid pops up. Hey.
Oh yeah, that was funny. That was also funny.
And I look over, I'm like, hey, and I'm just watching YouTube and whatnot. And he's like, what you doing? I was like, I'm watching TV. What you doing? And I can feel John's shoulder kind of like jump up and down because he's over there chuckling. and again,
kids done made friends with her, and like, oh yeah.
And I was like, I'm going, and in my head, I'm like, and here is going to be the next little conversation. He says, like, now you're over there with the little ones. Hey. But that little one was so
But that didn't bother me. Like the kids were like, even the two of them who were like taking turns freaking their dad out by trying to open up the emergency door. I said, I said, that dude's going to drink today. He's going to drink. As soon as he gets home, he's drinking. So. But yeah, it was a lot. That we had like that family that was like walking up and down the aisle with their son that's the, I don't know if it's not quite a toddler, but with their baby in the
So
bed sheet.
cute.
So
Those
they're walking up
cheeks.
and down the aisle, rocking the kid. It's like you just see people going up and down the aisle with a bed sheet full of a person. And I'm
But
like,
the thing is, that little one was not
but it
crying.
was a little one. Yeah, he didn't cry at all. Like
Well
they
behaved.
got him through everything, and
Yep.
the
Well
flight
behaved.
attendants were just like, "Hey, you do what you got to do, just to keep, if it keeps him quiet, y'all keep going, keep doing
Yeah.
it." So that was a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, Carlos said that's a valid concern, John. Good looking out for sis. I'm telling you, I think about the way I look at it is like she shouldn't have to worry about any of that stuff because I already worried about it for her. So that's otherwise, why am I here? So there we go. All right. Now that moves us into something that is just as serious, even more concerning, in my opinion, and that is Recliner of Rage. Well, I'm just gonna let you tell the story. I'm gonna let you tell the story, okay? But I'm just gonna say I'm gonna respond to said story, but you just okay. It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Okay, so today's Recliner of Rage is dedicated to the heightened levels of towel disrespect that I've been dealing with. And that's what we're calling it, towel disrespect. I'm going to give you the full screen. No, I'm not, because I want people to see my face as you tell this story. Go ahead. The floor is yours. Go ahead. Tell them what happened to them. Go ahead.
Okay. So there's this brand. Okay. So all you guys that enjoy
you can say that name because I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Say it.
Do you want to tell the story or you want me to start off?
No, go. No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Elliot was there and had a booth just outside of HFA. Really a cool idea. If you like cold plunge, but you don't want to maintain a tub with the water and all this other stuff to keep it chill, their idea is like a cold plunge shower, but it's like a power shower. Really cold. Trust me, I don't like cold unless I'm going to drink it. Got a chance to try it out. Stuck my hand underneath there. Drinkable water, nice and cold. 20-second
How you know
shot.
it's drinkable?
I mean, it's cold. I don't like hot water.
Hold on. Your criteria for whether water is drinkable is if it's cold or not?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want anything floating in it or anything like that.
Okay. I'm just
saying.
I'm just saying that I have more criteria for whether I'm gonna drink some water besides whether it's cold or not.
And I was like, okay, I would, because it was like, yeah, you can enjoy taking a shower. I was like, no, this is the temperature that I would drink. This is not the temperature that I will bathe or shock my body in. So long story short, got a chance to test it out. Cool. I think it's a great idea. Something that you can use, whether, if you
for somebody else
or you want to go ahead and install the system in your home, you can. It's great. Check them out. It's Cillian. All right. So because he was like, yeah, you can stick your head in there. Nope. Silk press, not doing it. So they hand me a towel to dry my hand. So
towel.
Hold on. They hand me a towel to dry my hand. So I dry my hand as I'm touching. I'm like, oh, this is a really nice towel. This is nice and luxe, and etc. So we're talking about their brand and how it fits, and just a little bit more information about it. And he goes, oh yeah, before you go, and I'm telling him about our channel, the purpose behind it, etc. Just our ethos. And then he goes, oh, before you go, let me get you something. And so John's talking to the other rep.
She didn't ask. All right.
John's talking to the other rep.
Yeah.
And the guy goes around to the back, comes back out, and hands me it's that luxury towel.
It's like a luxury hotel towel.
As luxury hotel. So some of those really thick luxury robes that are like really heavy one.
Yes,
that's the fabric of how this towel is. It's just it's the best way to describe it is like luxe. So I'm holding, and as soon as he hands it to me, I just start chuckling, and I look at John, and I'm like, "Hey, babe, I got a towel."
See what I'm talking about? Carlos, remember the other day I told you, I said Naomi does junk to me too, right? She knows what I was going to say, and she gets my attention as I'm talking to someone employed by the same company who didn't offer me a towel. And she says, "Oh, look what I got."
So the funny thing is, so John goes, "What?" But this is the funnier part. There are 3 other brands that are in this space, you know. So you have this, I'm trying to remember what it's
It's
called.
like it was Hydro Massage.
Hydro Massage. There's another,
Hydro
it's like
Bed or something like that, but yeah.
It's another brand that is also like ice plunge, but it's like a ice, kind of like a sauna, but it's for like the opposite. It's like you're walking into a freezer. And then the other one was for like if anyone does a spray tan, this one is for body.
It's like a cryo chamber. You just walk in there and you can pretend you're Captain America in ice or something.
Yeah.
No, the other one is like Boba Fett putting you in cryostasis. Go ahead. Sorry.
Exactly. So there's 4 brands in this one space, right?
Yeah.
So the reps at these other 3 locations turn and look like, oh, you guys are giving away towels? The guy's like, well, no. And so then John goes, she got a towel. So it's not the little towel. I mean, it's a nice towel. And I just got to make sure Nora doesn't get her hands on it because it's my towel. There are many like it, but this one's mine.
All I'm saying is I was at the exact same location as Naomi. I knew the people for as long as Naomi did. Maybe you were there 1 second earlier than me. And I mean, it's the size of a bath towel, not necessarily the size of a beach towel, but it's a big towel, right? We had to figure out to get it in the suitcase, but like that, it's that big. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like it took up extra room in the suitcase.
Mm-hmm. And I had to expand my suitcase to make sure it can fit.
So I was like, okay, I'm trying to upload it now so you can see the thing the hydro thing, because there's actually a nice chair.
That was
what when it grows up, right? So anyway, but I'm just saying, like, we in this situation, and so then I had to explain to them why it was a big, and so they start laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'll just point out, okay, number one, I would do a cold plunge. Naomi will not. Okay?
Nope.
I already take like a cold shower after working out. Naomi does not.
Okay? Hot shower, the hottest as possible.
And so I believe in their product. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, right? Mm-hmm. And also, Naomi doesn't like gym. She doesn't use gym towels of any kind. So she puts her hand under this thing, the water for this product that she ain't gonna do like this. That's the last time she's gonna do that. Okay, that was it. And unless she goes and sees them at a different venue, a different event, that's gonna be her last interaction with cold showers. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I, on the other hand, was like, oh, this would be cool because my thought about it was like, if you want to do cold plunges, really you're only using it for a couple minutes a day. Why would you want to keep this water cold, spend the electricity? I don't care if it's a minimal electrical, whatever. The point is you're spending electricity to keep this thing cold all day, and you're really only going to use it for a few minutes, right? So that made more sense to me, because I'm like, oh, well, if you put it in a garage, you already got you got hookups there, because most garages have something for like a washing machine or something. So you got a water source. It's going to take up much less room than a cold plunge would. Yeah. So you can literally put it in a corner of your garage if you wanted one. You step in there, get your recovery, and then in our case, it'd be like, oh, and now we go upstairs. So I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense to me, right? And they just turn around and just straight up, just behind my back.
You were standing there.
My back was turned, so it's behind my. Yes, it was. I was talking to the dude this way, because you just said. Remember when she was telling the story? She said, so. I told John, turn around, and said, hey, babe.
I turned around and said, hey, babe, look.
I was looking. Okay, so we're facing them. The dude I'm talking to is over here. The dude you're talking to is over there. So my back is to the dude you're talking to. That qualifies as. And then he got it from behind the unit.
But I didn't do an about face.
He got it from behind the unit.
I did a quarter turn.
Physiologically, it's behind my back. So I was like, all right, whatever. Because had I seen him reaching for towels, I would have been like, hey, man, what are you doing? You got towels back there? At which point he probably would have said, no, we're out of stock, because he would have already given the only one to you.
Which I'm honored. Cillian, thank you so very much. I enjoy the towel. It is so nice, and it was really sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. So, so happy. Yeah.
Hello, Bitterwin.
Yeah. All right. So this is the thing. I guess we could show it because we're about to go into just talk about HFA in general. But yeah, thank you, Carlos. Carlos says for my towel, $5 for my towel fund. Well, the last time we bought a towel. It got held up in customs at the Canadian border. So there's that. I don't understand what's up with me and this towel disrespect. That's all I can call it. Towel disrespect. But anyway, this is the thing Naomi was talking about. This I went right over there. I said, I'm gonna go over here and use this to calm down. So let me see if I can pull this thing up. It's in my downloads now. Let's sit right here. So I'll turn the sound off. It's kind of loud, but this is basically like a waterbed. But it's it's like a waterbed massage bed combo. So the jets of water are going up and down your body, right? I said, oh, this is very nice.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, now a couple of times the water went, because between my legs and my back, there's a part of my body that I don't want water shooting up into. I don't want to lay down on a bidet, but I'm just yeah. So yeah, in fact, like right now it's under my butt, which is I'm not into that, but now it's under my hamstrings.
I mean, I enjoyed it because it was. You can definitely change the intensity of it.
So yeah, you can hear. So Naomi said, I thought that was a jet taking off. That's actually how loud it sounds. The water is spraying on you. And then when it hit my upper back, I said, oh, that's amazing on my lower back. So it's moving up and down.
So one thing I will say is I think, would it be great to have? Yes. Would it be ideal for maybe
He's like, where am I going to put it? I don't know.
Maybe not. So there's another, and we didn't catch video of it, unfortunately.
No, we're too busy vibes.
But got a chance to get him into a zero gravity massage chair, as well as myself. And these chairs actually do everything from recovery to stretching to the whole 9 yards. And laying there, I literally was like, I can rearrange the living room.
It stretches you at the joints. So it's almost like it was like inversion, but without having to actually go all the way upside down. It felt amazing. So yeah, we're like, oh yeah, this is definitely.
We're having a budget talk and making a sinking fund for that.
Yeah,
for sure.
We're like, yeah, this is going to have to happen. This will definitely have to happen.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and go to LinkedIn, since we're moving into our HFA coverage anyway. We want to go ahead and so let's do this. We'll go to LinkedIn in just a sec. I need to add like a little thing I can play while we go to LinkedIn. I'm gonna create something right here. All right. Okay. Good morning. Shout out to the Central Time Zone. It is 6:58. We appreciate all you guys for starting your Friday by getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. And we're heading to the second hour of the show. If you're watching on LinkedIn, please do me a favor and make sure that you are following our show page, Garage Gym Life, on LinkedIn. That way you don't miss a single episode as we continue to interview the most influential business owners, CEOs, and content creators who influence the home fitness community, the at-home fitness community. Plus, we also cover events that would be of interest to the at-home workout community, and that includes the HFA Trade Show, which we just attended. It was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week. So, well, technically, the HFA conference started Monday. The trade show was Tuesday and Wednesday. Had a lot of things. So, let's just start, Naomi. This was in San Diego. So, what were your overall impressions of the show?
I mean, I liked the layout. The event. From the last time we went to this one, I feel this one in San Diego was much bigger. The layout was really, really not. It was big, but it was easy to navigate. There were a lot of brands that were there that you were able to see and talk with. I enjoyed it a lot. I know one of the things that I know Scott had mentioned that with San Diego, it's just done a whole lot nicer, and having the experience at Vegas, while it was cool, San Diego did not feel chaotic. And I guess the best way to describe it is, in Vegas, you're going through where they held it. You had to go through a casino, and you had this restaurant row and everything else that you get to just to the convention center and then get to the event. Whereas here, it was like a really nice trickle walk from the hotel straight to the convention. And then again, with the layout, it was also classes were upstairs, as opposed to last year's, they were downstairs. Again, with the classes that were offered, really, really cool. We attended 2 at the actual trade show. We then took one that was off-site, but it was just like across the road.
Just My Zone.
The My Zone, yes, with that presentation there, which was really good, as well. I mean, again, watching how the setup, because we got there early enough, as part of with the exhibitors, to see how it's set up. So you had the cranes and you had the forklifts and everything else.
And this is from day 2. What is it?
Right. This is day 2.
I'm sorry. Yeah, this is from day 2. We got in there on Monday when they had the fork. So there was bare floor. So
everything was bare floor. So yeah. So when we got there, all that blue that you see on there, that was all bare floor.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's carpet.
That's actual carpet. So shout out to, the trade show, floor planning, and for their workers and everything for laying that out. I'm like, do you do residential? I was gobsmacked with it. But like, they had boxes, and like I had asked a few brands, like, how do you, when you bring stuff in, like, are you putting everything from scratch? And that's when I actually learned that with some brands, they bring their stuff already like 3/4 away assembled.
Yeah. This
on
is
their
Body
pallet.
Solid booth.
Yeah, with the Body
Mr.
Solid.
Eddie. Shout out to Eddie.
Hey, Eddie. And then they just put the remaining parts, like any loose parts, they'll put it together, like cables and stuff like that. But again, it was really, really fun. Just reconnecting with, Home Gym Cloud fam that we bumped into on day 2 and also on day 3.
Adding to the towel fund still. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you for understanding his need.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But then also getting a chance to, with brands that we've already built those relationships with. So like Body Solid, X Master, with Major Fitness. Right.
So this is part of the Body Solid
Anchor. And many more. Hyper Ice.
Yes.
Hyper Ice day 2 was a personal visit. Day 3, when we saw them, it was doing a booth tour. And just, brand awareness, vendor awareness, but also meeting some newer brands as well to build relationships with. So it was really cool.
I'll tell you something that really, one of the biggest things for me, just as a general overview, is running into people who we knew from other places. And I'm going to start with this one because this is Albert. So Albert is not a content creator. He's someone who just watches this show. And he lives on the West Coast, and he sent me a DM and said, "Hey man, you're going to be," he said, "you're going to be at HFA." He said, "would love to meet you." I said, "Yeah, man." I said, just because at this time I still didn't know what he looked like. So I just said, "Okay, well, if you see me, just stop me and say hello." And so we were walking, I think we're going from one class to the other.
We were scoping out where the classes were going to be.
Okay, yeah, because I remember we weren't in a class yet, and so Albert comes up and he says, "Hey, I reached out to you. I sent you a DM and said I wanted to meet you at HFA," and he said, "I'm Albert," and I said, "Oh, hey man," I said, "Let's take a picture immediately, right?" So you guys, shout out to @albs, so @ALBS_Lang, LANG. You guys make sure you give him a follow. Man, I really appreciate, number one, the encouragement you gave us when when he was talking to us. We actually ended up going to a couple of the same seminars. We saw him at the American Barbell booth as well. And it was just like, so you see, like, you guys he says, "It's great running into you and Naomi." And that was just huge for me because I still enjoy. It's funny because I said that, I'm like, I don't have the gift of hospitality, but I mean, I still, that to me makes it even more impactful that I enjoy meeting you guys who enjoy our content, because I feel like, just like you guys feel like you've gotten to know me just from watching the show. Well, I feel like I've gotten to know you guys from the comments and just interacting with you. So it's cool for me to meet people online. So that was really cool to meet Albert. And then I liked seeing the little things so this is Will. We ran into Will at the X Master booth, and that was dope. So he thought it was like, what I think is interesting is the stuff that brands think is a big deal isn't necessarily what we think is a big deal. So I'm looking at this, it's just a plate tree that they put together, right? And they put it back to back. It's not on their website. It's not in the deal. They just kind of like Naomi in the Mermaid Bar. I saw this plate tree. I said, oh, how cool is that to have a plate tree that goes in multiple different directions, right? So all four sides have plate horns, and then you could also use each corner for something. And so I said, oh, that's dope. And so we were just talking. I said, what is it called? He said it didn't really have a name because we just made it so we could hang stuff on it for the trade show.
To display their chrome plates and their regular plates. Yeah.
And so it was, he said, so he made up a name on the spot, the Multi-Direction Trade Show Plate Tower. I was like, we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that name. But I was like, that's really cool. We got to see that. Yeah. Naomi she got to see the clips booth there.
Yeah.
That's just pedals, right? That whole
booth those are just pedals. And in fact, we were actually walking to go to Hyperice because we were heading in the direction of Hyperice, and it caught the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh, hold on, because those are bike pedals. Now, do they have bike pedals for like your indoor cycling? Yes, but
that's what I was going to ask you. Is that all indoor cycling, or is it also for road bikes?
It is interchangeable, as she was explaining. However, those, because of the length of the bolt that screws in, it's a little shorter, so it does go into more of an indoor cycling. But they do offer the same style for outdoor cycling, because actually, if you look further down, they also had their cycling shoes. Or road cycling shoes, which were so cute. Yeah. But what I liked about it is those were for SPD style cycling shoes.
And if you're into cycling, you know what that is, basically.
And they offered the other as well. But they had lots of different types of, again, their pedals that were available. So I was just like, really, really cool.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize it, but you don't have to, like, if you get an indoor some sort of indoor cycle, spin bike, whatever, you don't have to stick with the pedals that they send you. Just like for a while there was like this trend to replace the pulleys. If you got like plastic pulleys with some sort
aluminum
of cable trainer, you would go online and you would get replacement aluminum pulleys. And now we're doing something similar with the wheels that are coming on adjustable benches. We just upgrade to bigger wheels. So you can do the same thing with an indoor cycling bike. You don't have to stick with the pedals that come with it. You can switch to something that fits you, because if that helps you get more out of what can sometimes be a very expensive purchase, then to me it's 100% worth it. Other people that we ran into, they didn't have a booth there. Okay, but we ran into the guys from Right Fitness Equipment.
Yes, I was going to say
that was really cool to see them. Go ahead, throw that there. So it was Chris, Chris and man, I forgot. I apologize, man. I forgot the other person's name that was with him. But so we saw them at the Music City Fit Expo for the first time. Then we saw them again at Home Gym Con, and they already told me they will be at Home Gym Con again this year. So Coach Rex Peckinpah said they were so nice to him at Home Gym Con. So Right Fitness will be at Home Gym Con again, but they were at HFA because it kind of like, we'll talk about a little bit later. It's like, if you're in the fitness industry in any capacity, you need to go to more events than just somebody who's a consumer of fitness stuff, because it's your job to report on the fitness industry, things that happen in the fitness industry, right? And so so for them, it's also seeing what the competition's doing. They're deciding whether they need to have a presence at this trade show, because there's a cost for every time a brand goes to something like this. They're like, well, is it worth it for us to be there? I didn't get a picture, but we ran into Brian from Iron Master, as well. Just walking by, we didn't get a picture, but we ran into Ashton from Freedom Fitness Equipment.
Yep.
And so we had a lot of fun going to these different booths and just running to him. So yeah, so Carp knows him. He says, Big Albert. Yeah, hey, that's right. So that means he's in the FOC. So that's good enough for me, man. It was really, really cool meeting him. Jared, what's up, man? Jared said, Happy Friday, folks. Good morning,
sir.
Jared. How you doing, man? So Carlos said, after all that work we did this week, we deserve. So Naomi got on all the massage things too. So said we deserve that massage, and definitely, man, I'm telling you, it was really, really cool.
I mean, there's some products that we got a chance to try out with Hyperice. I was like, oh yeah, again,
yeah. And that video is coming. That's one of the videos I've got to edit. I've got to edit this week. The goal is to have all of those videos. They're going to run all next week. You're just going to see them. We've got the deadlift challenge video that's going to come up on it's going to run on Saturday. So you guys are going to get a ton of content from us. I don't like it when there's a trade show or something like Home Gym Con, and then you got to wait for content creators videos to drop. I get why sometimes people don't want to just drop stuff because it seems like you're just inundated with coverage. But to me, it's like I try to treat you guys like, let's say it's the Super Bowl, right? So think about the build up to the Super Bowl, or March Madness is going on right now. You're gonna see it on a lot of channels. That doesn't mean you don't want to see it, right? So I like to put it up and let you decide if you want to watch it or not, you know. And then whatever. Carp said that Osmo was working overtime. Dude.
Yes, it was.
So actually, this is unplanned. It wasn't even on the rundown, but you just made me think of it. At Home Gym Con, you see a lot of us with Osmos because there are a lot of content creators there. At HFA, there are not a lot of content creators there for whatever, not even from the mainstream fitness industry, right? And so most of the people there with cameras have large cameras. And so they saw us with the Osmos and they're looking at us like, Myron, jealous, and they're like, hey, what's that? So multiple people, I don't know how many people asked you, but multiple people asked me, like, what's up with that camera? Like, what is that? What brand is that? Where'd you get that? And that kind of thing. So that was interesting. Osmo, send money. All right. I'm serious.
Yeah.
But
really.
No, seriously though. Because we promote it everywhere. And if you go to Home Gym Con, it's an Osmo convention. All right, you see everybody with the DJI Osmos there.
But I mean, it was a game changer. Honestly, no ding over here. No ding.
Yeah, you guys, you saw me stop us, huh?
Yeah, no.
So let's talk about some major takeaways from the events we attended. So the first one was supply chain. I don't remember. I forgot the name of the thing now. It was supply chain shifts and how supply chain shifts and how they are affecting the fitness industry. So to frame it a little bit, the point of that one was talking about how global events affect the supply chain. So, for example, the price of steel is going up because of the conflict with Iran right now. So the cost of Iranian steel is going up. American steel, I will say, is a higher quality in general than most overseas steel. But steel that's sourced from overseas is probably what you're going to get in products that are made overseas, right? Because they're not going to export American steel to make a product and then ship it back to the US. Well, most of the time they won't. So it was talking about how brands are dealing with their costs going up. And they were just talking about how the brands talk to the manufacturers. They talk to the, when I say brands, I mean, like, these are public gym chains, right? And they were talking about how they talk to the people where they who sell them their equipment, but also how those equipment brands talk to the people who are are at the factories, and they try to work it out to keep costs down. Yeah. So while that doesn't directly affect us in the home gym community, it does affect us because most factories in Shenzhen that make stuff for public gyms also make stuff for home gym brands. Okay. And so it was really interesting to just see how the global events are affecting things, because you don't really hear about it a ton. What was your biggest takeaway from that session?
I think, and again, I apologize for not remembering the names, but I know there was a spokesperson that was from Equinox that was
Yeah.
on the panel. And it was interesting where the mention of where they need to maintain those relationships. So it really
Long-term
does
partnership.
long-term partnerships, have those conversations so that way they know exactly where where things stand, because the life cycle of equipment in those public arena, like those public gyms or whatnot, was very interesting. So like how they have to forecast when they
Yeah.
have to replace, you know, larger equipment. They're looking at a 5 to 7 years. So do we need to go ahead and have an agreement now so that in 5 or 7 years when we have to replace that treadmill
That
or
is a good
that,
point.
that
Pull up my notes.
pull-up bar, the rack or any other equipment, um, what is coming down the road. Smaller things like maybe, cables or smaller parts are a little bit are easier. But again, it all comes down to the communication and the partnerships, because that way you're not there's not that friction as he's
Yep.
describing. They understand the pain points that they're experiencing, and they understand the pain points that you're experiencing, as a company. So it was very, very interesting. Plus, you had the moderator, who
He's a lobbyist.
is a lobbyist in
Yeah.
DC, and so what they are constantly are doing, to help out with bringing health awareness in the there at DC. It was very, very interesting. I know it was one of those kind of conversations that really perked or John's ears during that seminar and that discussion panel. But it was my takeaway from it was it really does come down to relationships. Just having that continued working partnership together is what, while we go through the challenges, the good times and the bad times and the lean times, we're going through it together because we're in it together, which is very important.
So I'll say, and again, a lot of times I say, okay, look, like so for like Home Gym Con, I say if you're a home gym owner, you need to come to Home Gym Con. Just
Mhm.
flat out, you need to come. It'll be cool. Just like if you're really into Jeeps, you need to at some point go to the SEMA Auto Show. You need to go to Moab. Just
Mhm.
see it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So Home Gym Con is like that. You're gonna get to see a bunch of cool equipment. If you're in the fitness industry in some capacity, whether especially if you work, if you do your fitness industry work from home, you need to go to HFA.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna put up a list of just like the show the different the schedule of events from that day. But I
Mhm.
would want to say one thing to kind of like go into what Naomi was saying, and that is the um, the 3 to 5 year plan thing is huge, right? So the person was saying, yeah, so we're on a 3 to 5 year plan with replacing stuff. And somebody else actually asked me, said, well, how often do you replace like barbells and things like that? And it said, okay, well, um, he said bars and things like, he said that's on an as needed basis. No, he said, how often do you replace strength equipment? He said that's on an as needed basis. He said, so a cable, you're probably going to be replacing a lot sooner because
Mhm.
cables get to fray. And remember, these are gyms that might have 100 people go through them in a day or
Mhm.
more,
Mhm.
right? But they have a schedule, right? So
Yeah.
if you're a home gym owner, I want you
Yeah.
to don't zone out for what I'm telling you. Have a schedule because you need to know ahead of time. I bought this thing. The
Mhm.
warranty runs out in 5 years. So I need to make sure I have a plan for replacing this cable before the warranty runs out, or by the time the warranty runs out, I need to be prepared to buy a new cable. So then
Mhm.
I have a cable warranty from whichever manufacturer I got that cable from, just for example.
Right.
All right. But instead, what we do is we wait till it breaks and then we don't have a plan. Right. So
Right.
that was the first takeaway. They have they understand that things made by human beings have a shelf life.
Mhm.
That shelf life can be longer or shorter, but you need to have when you get your new treadmill, have a plan for replacing that treadmill before you get to the point where you're starting to notice issues with performance.
Right.
Have a plan. It doesn't mean that when you get to that point, you're like, oh, I'll just replace it because it's running fine, but let's replace it. No, I mean have the money set aside. because you expect the treadmill to eventually wear out. Okay, so that's something that you can learn from, I believe, from public gyms.
Mhm.
And then also, I think it is a good idea to, like, if you find, let's say, 3 brands that you really like, and you go back to them over and over again, because if the brand knows you're a repeat customer, they tend to treat you well.
Right.
Okay. And they will kind of bend over backwards a little bit more for you, just like if you go to the same car dealership to buy a car versus you just go where there's a sale.
Right.
Start learning to develop relationships. That is vitally important. Now, you don't have to go to the HFA show to develop those relationships like we do, but I'm saying just from where you are at home, you bought your first piece of equipment from, like, we'll have Tyler from PRX. You buy a piece of equipment from PRX, continue to continue that relationship if you like the products, because the next time they have something, you know, get the newsletter. You'll know when something's coming out if you want to get in it. We know a lot of people who are starting to develop that kind of relationship with RitFit.
Mhm.
I know people who have that. So, like, let's see, Jared has a relationship like that with with Bells of Steel.
Mhm.
I think that's important. Other people is free. I don't care who you develop a relationship with, but do a little bit less of just like that, like all over the place, because then you're not as much a victim of in the moment marketing. Okay. And let me share my screen real quick so you guys can see something. So I don't know if you guys can see it, right? So it says Fitness by the Numbers, Consumer Behavior and Industry Benchmarks 2025. Understand that they're making equipment. So, like, just like you have the gym has a 3 to 5 year plan,
Mhm.
the people who make the equipment for the gym have a 3 to 5 year plan. So right now, Bells of Steel, just for example, they haven't told me this, but I know they've got a plan to sell you a thing. They're making a thing now that they're going to plan to sell you in 5 years.
Yep. Down the road.
Right? Yep. Well, when you find out about that thing, you're going to be more, I don't want to say victim, but you're going to be more susceptible to just the marketing of the thing and what content creators seem to be excited about it,
Mhm.
which is going to make you dig into your pocket maybe unexpectedly, because you didn't plan 3 to 5 years ahead. But they're
Right.
planning and it's not just Bells and Steel, it's every brand. And it makes sense because
Mhm.
in 5 years, they got to pay their bills.
Yeah.
They have to be able to forecast how many people can we hire? Can we add staff based upon forecasting, based upon things like this? There's an entire seminar, an hour-long event where they're talking strictly about what all of these brands, of course, across the board have noticed about your behavior in terms
Mhm.
of purchasing and the kinds of things you like doing, because that's how they're going to keep the lights on and be able to feed their families, help their employees feed their families.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you guys need to know also that this is happening. So you are smart consumers. Don't just buy stuff because it's on sale.
And I think what's great is, well, the other thing is, especially with that particular topic that you just highlighted, that was part of a part of the seminar stack, is, there are brands that they talk amongst themselves, and they'll see, okay, particular brands are constantly updating their equipment, or they're making changes. Like, you may have a version 1, a version 2, a version 3. Well, where do those versions come from? It's the
Yes.
feedback from you guys. It's the feedback from consumers. And while, yes, on the commercial side or the vertical marketing side, you're seeing, commercial by large volumes, smart brands listen to their consumers and may, try it out, and they have their pieces that they use to, like, oh, I like this bench. This is what I like, but this is a concern, and they
Right.
take that feedback and they make those tweaks. So it was real interesting, in particular for that seminar, that's something, because again, it's some brands do it really, really well. Some
Yeah.
brands do it slightly well, but this was something to make it aware to
It's like
brands.
how they're
Hey,
making the decisions.
how is they making the
Right.
decisions? Right, right.
Ishitani, I see your question. So the first thing I've started, and we're gonna go back to it when Tyler comes on to see if Tyler from PRX comes on. But Carp's suggestion the question is need more stall mats, and Carp suggests Mohawk Mega Mats from Costco. You can also go to Tractor Supply. That may not be the cheapest option, but it's going to be something that I know is easy to find. They tend to have it in stock.
You have
But
Freedom Fitness also has it that you can check on their website.
So they have gym floor. Yeah, so Freedom Fitness. Ashton has Freedom flooring. He's got fitness flooring, which is very high quality, and it's a little bit like you could roll it out. So per square foot, you're gonna save money. But if you're just looking for stall mats, look in your local area and see if there's if you're in the US, look in your local area and see if there is a farm supply store, a local one, because sometimes you can get better deals from them. And then as far as the smell goes, I'll tell you that don't go, this is a freebie. Don't go spending money to buy those chemicals to clean your stall mats to get the smell off, because it's just gas that's coming out of the mat over time. And what you need to do is speed up the release of the VOC gas. And the cheapest way to do that is to stick it out in the sun. And then the heat will cause it to release faster. So if you stick it out so what I do if I get new stall mat is I put it outside in the driveway first thing in the morning, let the sun, especially if I know it's gonna be a hot day, and then by evening I put it in the garage and the smell is gone. So and sunshine is free. But I hope that answers your question. And then and Carp said it's hammer class. That's what Freedom Fitness has. The hammer class flooring. So back to what we're talking about with planning your purchases. Jared said this is deep but a wise perspective to share. I hope you guys can see on screen, see that it says the future real-time feedback loop, bridging the gap between marketing and sales. The future of and then right at the same time. And so you had to kind of that's one thing I don't like, because you had to choose between similar topics that seemed like they were in the same sort of family. So right there is talking about bridging, so the point of the real-time feedback loop class was, or discussion panel was, evolving your marketing campaigns while they're running. And it says, do this before missed goals become missed revenue, right? And so they're sharing best practices from a couple of brands. Then this one is talking about health club design strategies to boost motivation and retention, right? So what I take from stuff like that, although I don't belong to a health club, is the big things that they're doing is making their facility inviting to as many people as possible. And so I know a lot of you guys tell me things like, well, my significant other doesn't want to work out in here with me. And I say, well, you need to make sure that they feel welcome in the gym. If you make it for just you, they're not going to want to go in there because it's obviously just for you, right? So that's and so it talks about aesthetics and just like making a place where the vibe is comfortable, and I like that. Now, if you are a coach, right? So that was all just for the consumer side. But if you are a coach, there are also things in there that you'd enjoy. So we went to a presentation from MyZone. Let's see if I can pull this up here. They gave us breakfast. Thank you, MyZone. And this was Tuesday morning, and they were talking about motivation through wearables, which actually built on a presentation we had been at the day before with Ultra Human and some other things. We're talking about data.
Who owns your data?
Who owns your data? And
it was very, very insightful.
So go ahead and jump into that, because you actually went and spoke to them afterwards. Just talked to the Ultra Human, and I know you got to get out of here soon.
So with that one, it was the panel was amazing. Okay, let me just go ahead and say that. You had representatives from Ultra Human, and with their updated ring that they're going to be rolling out, has taken some of the sciences to increase the support that it's going to be able to provide. You had a rep from Life Fitness, where talking about lifespan and longevity, And then I remember her name. Her name is Rachel. Talked with her right after the seminar, and she really focused on women's health. Now, it was what actually stood out to me is with the data that we get. There's so much data, and sometimes we can be like, we look at our sleep score, we look at our VO2 score, we look at our HVP scores, we have all this data that we get. But as she brought it up, it's like, if your data is low, does that impact you with your motivation?
Right.
And she's like, sometimes
if you tell somebody, oh, you didn't have a lot of, you had bad sleep, so today your HRV is going to be low.
Right.
And that before you go into the workout, it can impact your performance in the workout.
Exactly.
But how many of us know that we went into the gym tired and had one of the best workouts in a kind of like slightly fatigued state or whatever, right? And she explained why she thinks that is, by the way.
Right. And and she's like, just start off with asking 3 basic questions. How'd you sleep? How'd you feel? And what's your why? That kind of thing. And that kind of puts everything into perspective. And, the numbers are good. But then the other thing that kind of brought, I want to kind of dig through this a little bit more myself personally, but a lot of the scoring and the numbers, they're not really built on women specific. It's more on male. She said that, I think it was,
she said people gave up.
And so looking at women's health, and like for our hormones and everything fluctuates because, we're women, and you don't see the data 100% for us. And one of the things I told her, I said, with my health journey this past year, I worked really closely with my physician to make sure that she had access to my data. And it helped. It helped out a lot. So that way it was a plan. And unfortunately in healthcare, you have doctors like, you know what, here's a pill. Go ahead, go ahead and fix it here's a pill. Yeah. But let's look at everything that's involved. Let's look at your exercise. Let's look at your, your diet. Let's look at your, if you're on medication, let's look at the medication that you're on to be able to provide that support. It was very, very eye-opening. And talking with her afterwards, she goes, let's circle back. Let's talk more about this. And I would love to see if we can try and get her on the show to really
100% want to do that.
This, because if you have an opportunity to go to HFA,
and remember, we're talking to coaches right now.
Yeah,
if you're a coach, you're training people because you can help your clients interpret the data they're getting from wearables. Well, go ahead.
But also to make you as an effective coach that is knowledgeable of what's out there. Even with MyZone, one of the things they talked about is the constant encouragement that for those that use the MyZone system with MEPs, and just the check-ins and whatnot. One of the things like for ladder that really encourages me to stay consistent is I'm working out and then all of a sudden I hear the little cheer in the background, or I hear the heartbeat, or I hear the do, because everybody has their own little emoji to share, like kudos to you or cheers while you're working out. And so even though you're in the zone, you're in your own workout space, you still had that community that you can still cheer and support and whatnot. So a lot of the seminars that they offer, the continued education is beneficial, not just for those that work in clubs or like the gym. It's something that can really benefit personal trainers to help continue to strengthen your skills and make you competitive as well, because you're offering the same support that you would find in a public gym.
Exactly. So people don't feel like they're missing out on stuff, right?
Exactly.
And so like the thing with MyZone is they're saying that they can connect with you so first of all, MyZone is compatible if people already have like an Apple Watch or something like that.
Yeah. So they actually just rolled that out.
Right. So then you can tell somebody, hey, just do a free trial, see if they like it. And then if they do like it, and this is, so let's say you have people come over and train with you, and then you can say, okay, if you do like it, then this is something we're going to use to help you stay. I gave you this program, right? I want you to keep coming, right? Or what if you are an online coach? So you don't see the people you coach. Instead, you send them the
Right.
programs. Well, how do you know that they're actually doing what you asked them to do?
Right.
Well, now the My Zone thing, and we're not getting paid for telling you guys this. This is
No.
all just information only. But they say that you can do something. You can use My Zone as a way to motivate people, so they actually do the stuff that you program for them.
Mhm.
So then it's easier. They call it like a member retention thing.
Mhm.
The seminar, the Next Data Frontier that we were just talking about, that's with Hussein Ahmed from he's a strategic advisor from Ultra Human, and I know that Jonathan from No Fate 24/7 did a review of Ultra Human, but Hussein was actually talking about like some of like how the long-term use of the data they collect
Mhm.
kind of supports what Naomi was talking about, because they're trends that you can then give to your doctor. So like if you just, for example, the example that they used was like if you go into the doctor and you ran a marathon, right, the week before, your numbers are going to be low because you're deloading the next week. You go to
Mhm.
this, so now you got your annual checkup. You go in there and you're like, yeah, my numbers are down. They run a blood test and they see that your tests came back with all this. Now
You
they
have
start
lack
prescribing
of
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, this isn't normal. This isn't how you normally are. You just
Correct.
you just ran a marathon the week
Mhm.
before. You just had a powerlifting meet the week before. You're in the worst shape temporarily of your life, right?
Mhm.
Because you're coming down off of it. But if you have a pattern like Naomi has a pattern of sharing her data with her physician, they can say, okay, well, tracking over time, this is what we see. This is the stuff to watch out for,
Mhm.
right? And so they're not just programming or prescribing rather stuff for you just randomly.
Mhm.
And I just think that this is the kind of thing that that kind of, if you're a coach. So here's one that really got me: muscle health gains. What's the thing that we, and I used to be a personal trainer. The one of the things that people forget about when you talk about how to keep clients coming back to you is results. How
Seeing
about
the results.
give them results that they can see?
Yep.
They got stronger. They can do their performance improved. The way their clothes feel changed, right?
Mhm.
And so again, you got to have, and they encouraged in that session that you have practical ways to measure the changes, so
Mhm.
that if somebody's depressed, let's say they're like, I don't see the numbers on the scale moving. You can say, oh, well, we've got this, and according to the measurement from, for example, your MyZone or whatever your wearable. And actually, we went to the Ultra Human booth, and Naomi, they got rings that look like this ring, okay?
Mhm.
That look like a wedding or just like a normal wedding band or something, right?
Mhm.
But you can say, like, based upon the data from your wearable, you're actually making progress. So you can use it as a tool to encourage people.
Okay.
I know that in the home gym community, a lot of times we're like very sensitive with sharing our data. I don't want people knowing stuff about me and all that.
Mhm.
Just look straight up. If you got an iPhone and you go on Facebook, they know a lot about you. I even saw a thing one time where just because of the type of stuff I'm into watching and whatever, they were saying that the CIA and the FBI don't actually have to do as much research on you anymore because people are revealing everything on social media. And that's actually how they catch some terrorists.
Yeah.
Like they straight up they're like, okay, well, they told it to you because that stuff is already on platforms. And what actually raises red flags is when you don't have an online presence, because then they assume you're hiding something.
Right.
But that's a whole different thing. Letha says, I have a Hume scale in my gym. My clients use it weekly, bi-weekly. Personally, I have a Hume band as well.
Mhm.
Reminding clients there's so much more than the big number on a scale has been
Correct.
huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like for me, all last year, if I just looked at the number on the scale, it would have, and that was the only metric I was using, I would have stopped my journey because
Yeah.
it fluctuates. Heck, I'm a little up from when I hit my goal, but my clothes still fit. Actually, they're still a little baggy on me. Heck, I
You've
was
added
excited.
muscle because you've gotten stronger.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
happy I was able to do a burpee. I've struggled with burpees. And I was like, I'm just curious. And I did a burpee and I was like, oh, holy, and this is a family friendly show, so I
Yeah.
won't say what I said. But I mean, it's,
Shut the front door.
yeah,
There you go.
yes, that's it. That's it. And so it's like it's those little things, those little wins that are really important. And having those as reminders really helps with your weight loss journey, but your health journey as well.
Yeah.
And again, it's a partnership. And I'm so thankful for my physician encouraging me and being there, I'm excited to see what what my annual looks like the next time I meet up with her, because again, she's able to see my information, my data when
Right.
it comes down to
You hear that? She's excited about going to the doctor.
yeah, and I
Think about
used to
how
be
we dread
afraid.
it. Yeah.
Now, as a woman, and shout out to all the women that are watching them on the
I'm
show
glad y'all
now
exist.
live. There's some parts of our annual that we don't look forward to.
Yeah. But I will also say that probably some of these wearables actually help with collecting some. They're still going to do the tests, but it probably helps with collecting some data in certain ways.
Well, that's the thing that Rachel brought up during the seminar is there are some things that they are not calculating.
Yeah.
And they actually are talking more and partnering with a lot of the wearable brands to make sure that these are things that are being addressed,
Right.
that are also taken into consideration because they weren't,
Right.
before.
Which is why they weren't doing the studying women. They just say it's just too hard to keep track of.
Right.
Letha says seeing visceral fat changes, lean mass changes, body fat mass, BMR, etc., has been a driving force. So I'm telling you, if you are a coach and you coach people from a home gym, you don't have to say I don't have an advantage. In fact, this is one of the business words, business phrases. Your unique value proposition, the thing that you offer that most people can't, or not can't, but things that they won't do, is stuff like, and I'm going to show this really, really quickly, is so they're talking about, so right here it says one of the discussion panels was how Medicare policy is reshaping your future members, right?
Correct.
Because Medicare has a growing focus on physical activity. So people want to start moving and training. Some of them are not going to feel comfortable going to a public gym. That's where you come in, right? They talked about what's changing, lessons from existing Medicare Advantage, aligned fitness benefits. And so it's like, well, maybe you can set it up so that your clients can get reimbursed for using your services because now you're part of, because there's more and more of a focus on prevention. And I segue right into, there's another session, bridging the gap between fitness and medicine, right? So they're talking about here how you could integrate yourself into the telehealth services network, right? You can, they said they're talking about a value of a plug and play telemedicine solution that will connect trainers and health coaches with the medical provider. So then now you're not fighting each other. The doctor says something and you say, oh, this is garbage, don't listen to the doctor. You wouldn't say that, but you know what I'm saying? It's like you guys are now working together. What if doctors start being able to refer you to people because they know they can trust you? Right. And and vice versa. So I'm just saying it's one of those things that there's just, it's good stuff that I encourage you guys next year to go to. It'll be in Vegas.
It's okay.
But
it's okay.
It'll be okay, but it'll be in Vegas. But I encourage you guys, if you are a coach, in fact, let's say it this way, Letha, you told me that you will travel. So I want to see you at HFA in Vegas. I want to be able to walk in and see, oh, there's Letha right there, right? We can hang out with, I'm sure you've been to Vegas, but like I'm talking about the HFA stuff. And I think that you will really, really enjoy going to some of these seminars. Same thing with Ashley, same thing with all the other people who are watching, coaches.
I will say one last thing before before I have to jump off, is I really wish, because there's so much, as you showed all the different classes and the seminars that are available, I wish there was a way that they were, and so HFA, if you're listening, just
they would not, I'll say this, they would not let us record anything.
Yeah, they don't allow to record. But if there is a way, again, for members of HFA,
make it a podcast.
Make it a podcast, so that way, though, because you have, in a lot of ways, you'll have 3 to maybe 4 classes going at the same time.
Yes, so frustrating.
And so it's like there were, like last year, we divided and conquered to be able to listen. I really wish that there was a way that, again, with membership, these were maybe podcasts or recordings to be able to listen to, because again, the information, it's great when you hear it at first, but sometimes you gotta let it sit, and sometimes you listen to it again, it's like something else kind of hits you, and it's an eye opener, and it makes you go, oh. So
there's 3 days worth of classes that we were not able to attend all of because we had other things going on. And I'm telling you, it's stuff that, this is why I'm like, man, this is it's something that I can't communicate to. This is not, I'm not knocking Home Gym Con. What I'm saying to you is, this is why HFA has value.
Mhm.
And I don't look for the same things from it that I do from Home Gym Con, because at Home Gym Con, I want to have a different experience.
Right.
And I love the fact that Jake was at HFA
Yep.
because he's on purpose making Home Gym Con unique from HFA.
Mhm.
But I'm saying if you are I'm going to say it again. I said if you are a content creator in home gym space, you need to be at Home Gym Con. If you are a fitness professional in terms of being a coach in the home gym space, you need to be at Home Gym Con and HFA because it's your job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's that. So that's my rant. And Letha said, I'm there. You had me at HFA, but you won me over at Vegas. I need the dates ASAP. I had no idea about this conference this year. So it's just crazy because you were already in California. All you would have had to do is extend your stay. Extend your stay 3 more days, you know?
Yep.
So yeah. But yeah, we'll definitely let you know. And if anybody else is watching who is a coach, and you guys are interested in doing HFA next year, we'll work it out so that we get you guys all the information. And they also do stuff throughout the year. So, you know, we can let you guys know. Okay. None of this is sponsored. This is just information that we feel is our responsibility to give you. All right. Go ahead. Let everybody know where to keep up with all the stuff that you have going on, Naomi, and then we'll let you get out of here so you can
make sure you
go and do the taxi service. Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and check me out on YouTube. You can find me at Naomi Harris Greaves, or you can check me out also on Instagram at Naomi Greaves, and also here at Garage Gym Life. So thanks so very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Can you ask Nora to bring me something to drink before you guys get out of here? I was gonna message her, but yeah.
All right. So
I see that.
All right.
Yeah.
See you, everybody.
All right. See you later. All right. And that was my lovely wife, Naomi. She's already gone. All right. Like when she said she's out, she meant it. And anyway, so you guys make sure that you go ahead and you subscribe to Naomi's YouTube channel. She does home office solutions, the home office lifestyle, the remote work lifestyle. So her channel is a little bit over 10,000 subscribers. And I love it because she's got, you know, she's doing like answering people's questions. So if you have questions about remote work, about anything like that, just go ahead, subscribe to her channel and put questions in the comments, and she will. And that's what kind of shapes the content that she makes, is the stuff from you guys. All right. Finishing up with the HFA coverage, a couple other things that happened that we are really excited about, or at least I'm excited about, is some of you guys have already seen it, but I got a chance to. So we were able to go behind the scenes, as we mentioned, so that we were there before the show opened up. Okay. And the first thing was we went and we did product reviews of 2 different body solid products. So this is their SPR FTS. So what you guys saw at Home Gym Con was the GPR 400 with the functional trainer attachment. So that's GPR FTS. So that's a great product, but to me, it's too short. Okay. I'm not the tallest guy, but to me, it's too short. Thank you. But it's too short. And so I want something that I can use without having to bend my knees. All right. And the SPR 1000 is the GPR, but for more of a commercial space. So it is a bigger unit, and it's about the exact same thing, but just taller. And with the so SPR FTS means SPR functional trainer selectorized. All right. And so we were able to get back there and do a review of that. So let's go ahead and remove that. And then the other thing I got to do was, you guys did not see that on Instagram, what I just showed you. This you did. Major Fitness gave us the opportunity to get in there again early before the show opened up, so that I could test out their Heritage Series powerlifting bar. And I inadvertently got to test out their Heritage Series bench as well. So the powerlifting bar gets a thumbs up from me, not so much for the bench. And I'll just show you this because it led to a PR. So this is, first of all, y'all may know I'm a competitive dude. All right. So when I got on the bench, I ended up Larson pressing because the bench is so slippery. As soon as I got on there, I said, uh-oh. when I engaged leg drive, I actually shot backwards. So my head went off you won't see it because it happened when I first got on the bench. It was before I even put the bar on there. My head went off the back. I said, okay, we don't want to have that happen again. The reason why the bench is slippery is because it's easier to keep a slicker surface bench clean because there are nooks and crannies for the same nooks and crannies that grab your shirt also grab dirt. So in a gym where there's hundreds of people going through, you want to have a slicker surface, but that's not good for leg drive. So I said, well, I'll just Larson press. And for those who don't know, a Larson press is where it's named after Adrian Larson. Shout out to Adrian. He's a really good dude. Always really nice to me and my family. So because of a physical challenge he was born with, he benches with his legs straight out. Okay. Adrian's a 500+ pound bencher, but then people saw him doing it and they're like, oh, that looks kind of cool. So it turned into a bench press accessory. So you can work on, your, basically how strong are you without using your legs? Then when you add your legs back in, now you get even more weight, right? So I say all that to say that my previous Larson press was at like 275, somewhere in there, right? And so when I saw how slick the bench was, I said, you know what? I'm not going to go over 225, especially because I actually benched on Monday. This was Wednesday, this video. I benched on Monday to test out the Body Solid product. And so I get to 225. I said, yeah, I'm going to stop. Well, then there's 3 guys there. So that's Chris, and then John Ofreda, who's been on the show, is off to the side, and then also Wes Blauberg. They started messing with me, and they're like, put some weight on the bar. I'm like, okay, good enough. I'll tell you what, just for you talking junk, I'm going to bench press all the weight you brought. So I did that, and so right there, so we went to I want to say it was 274. And I was like, all right, I can do that. I know I've done that before. Well, I did it. And then Wes is like, okay, well, what about these 25-pound plates that we're using to hold down the Raptor F22? And I had to tell you all that just so we could do this, right? And so this is me with a new PR. This is 324 pounds. Larson press, feet off the ground. And that was a good moment. Then, of course, you know how to get back up and continue the trash talk. That video is going to be dropping on the channel today. So you guys can check that out. You hear like the trash talk I said to him. But yeah, that made it a lot of fun. And shout out to Major Fitness for letting me get backstage, or not backstage, but get into the trade show. Because when this happened, there's no music on. There's no people in there other than people at other booths, right? And so that was access that really most people didn't have to get into the trade show, and it was phenomenal. Shout out to them. So that was our also shout out to Chrissy Van. Chrissy does fitness content in general. She actually has a long-standing media history in media in general, and now she's doing fitness content. And so she and Naomi, me and Chrissy got to get together and kind of talk a little bit, and we're looking forward to having her come on this show as well to just talk about covering the fitness industry. And yeah, so that was our HFA coverage. And then I'm going to say that my overall impression of the event was we liked it. There are things that we wish that could be different. One of the things we already mentioned, if you're going to have educational events that people have to make choices about attending, then you need to make it so that those educational events are recorded, so that those who went to one event but missed the other one can catch the recording or the replay of it. And you can make it a members only thing, a paying members only thing as a perk of membership. And my brother's in here, so I'm going to say we went to Hyper Ice, and one of the things that I specifically asked them about the thing you asked me about for the back. And so that is going to be covered in our video, Hyper Ice video, that's going to be dropping. I think we have it on, I believe it's on the schedule for Monday. So you're not going to get YouTube shorts next week. You're going to get long form video on this channel. So just, and I'll try to have, in fact, let's just say 6 a.m. Eastern time every day, we'll have something else from HFA dropping. So just come back 6 o'clock Eastern time every day next week, and you'll see something else from HFA. All right. And that should take care of that. Carp said, I heard they wouldn't let anyone in under 18 at HFA. I would say probably not. I can understand that because this is, again, it's a business industry event. They don't want kids running around. This is like it's not for the general public. You will have some general public in there because they just happen to live in the area or whatever, I guess. But everyone there is an industry professional in some capacity. So this is a business event. All right. Yeah. So there's the thing. Because I mean, it's really not set up for kids. There's stuff there that's prototypes. It would dramatically change insurance if they had kids there. So it's another reason why HFA and Home Gym Con attract two different crowds. So you got to think about it like this is a work trip I'm going to. So you got to figure out something for your kids. Right? We didn't take our daughter there. We would take our daughter to Home Gym Con. We're not taking her to HFA. Home Gym Hub. Spencer said, "Big lift, big dog." Hey man, I appreciate that. That was like I said, that was a PR to do 325 with no legs, 324. So we're getting closer to my actual bench goal, and because that felt nice and easy. I would, and in fact, I say, and I'm not. No, we'll say you got to watch the full video to get that. And Jared said that was stout as heck. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it. All right. It is now 7:56. Good morning to those of you in the Mountain Time Zone. It is 6. I want to say, I'm sorry. It is 7:56 here. It's almost 6 a.m. for those of you in the Mountain Time Zone. If you're just joining us, regardless where you're watching from, thank you for giving the show a chance. I ask that you hit the like button and hit subscribe so that we can continue to grow the platform, make it possible for us to get access to events like HFA, to make it worthwhile for us to have guests like my next guest on the show, because they have to know that they're not just going to be, as much as they may love talking to me, they want to make sure that they're talking to you guys, that there's a big enough platform for them to come on. And so hit the like button, hit subscribe. Make sure you're here every single Friday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern time if you can, but definitely 7 a.m. Eastern and 8 a.m. Eastern, so you don't miss a single episode as we speak to influential members of the at-home fitness community. Okay. And as a reminder, please make sure that you are following the Garage Gym Life Media show page on LinkedIn. We just dropped some of our on-location interviews with some business leaders, and you guys can go ahead and check those out as well. So help us. And once again, you follow the page. It helps us grow on LinkedIn, makes it easier for us to get good guests for you guys to check out. So there's 5,000 of you guys, 5,030 of you guys watching. Let's make sure that we get that. That's how many subscribes I want after today. Okay. All right. So speaking of my next guest, my guest today is the Director of Customer Experience at PRX Performance. You guys may be familiar with PRX Performance because they were on Shark Tank. That's where I first discovered them. And I'm going to say they revolutionized the at-home fitness community because they created a folding power rack, making it possible for those of you in some of the colder states to work out in your garage and still keep your cars protected. You know what I mean? So this, I get to speak to a lot of inventors and innovators, but anyone who represents a brand that had such a pivotal shift in the community that I'm a part of has an open invite to be on the show. So I'm excited to have Tyler on here. He's going to talk about some of the exciting things that have going on this year, and maybe, not promising anything, but maybe we'll talk Tyler into giving us a sneak preview of what they're bringing to Home Gym Con. So Tyler, you ready? He's ready. All right, so let's go ahead, bring Tyler on, and warm welcome for him for my guest today, Tyler Klein from PRX Performance. I always want to do that thing from like the Muppet Show. Tyler Klein, everybody.
Okay, John, I heard the intro. I just can't hear you.
You can't. All right, can you hear me now? Hang on, let me make sure. There we go. Can you hear me now? I'm gonna say probably not. Hold on, he's doing the private chat thing. Okay, so Tyler just logged off, and he's gonna come right back in. Yeah. All right, let's bring it here.
Yeah, there we go. Like,
Can you hear me now?
yeah.
All right, there we go. Yeah, the conversation doesn't work if you can't hear me.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
I thought it was gonna come in when when
Yeah,
I got on. Yeah.
Nah, normally it does, but hey, it's okay. We got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is good because my tech support just left to take our daughter to school.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, right. I know how that goes.
All right. So we got a few questions already in the that are already in the live chat here, and I know we got one that's for you.
Oh, nice.
Right there. Okay, cool. And actually, we have two for you. Okay, cool. And then,
oh man, people are lined up.
Oh yeah, I mean they're ready. And then shout out to Ashley, the Amazing. She was on the show last week. Said good morning, fam. What's up, Ashley? So if you guys have any questions for Tyler, make sure you guys are posting your questions and comments in the live chat. If you're watching on replay, shout out to the replay gang. Put your questions and comments for Tyler or for me in the comment section. And if it's a question for Tyler, I'll make sure he gets those questions, and then he can either circle back and just comment on them, or if it's a big enough question, we'll get him on Mailbag Monday for like a quick 5-minute segment where he'll answer questions in that. All right, but go ahead, start putting your questions and comments in the live chat. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead, and first thing I want to say, this is a question from me, and it's part of the rundown I sent you. With all the uncertainty going on in the world right now, it would be easy to overlook changes that you guys have experienced on a personal level at PRX Performance. Brian and Hopper still own the company, but anytime you have a change in who the president of a company is, there's going to be some changes in how the vision is executed. All right. Maybe the vision is the same, but let's say, okay, now this is how we're going to implement that vision on a year-to-year, day-to-day, month-to-month, whatever basis. So Ryan's now part of the PRX Performance family. What's got you most fired up about the fact that he's now part of the team?
Yeah, well, I just waking up this morning, I bounced through those questions, and they're great, John. And I'm really excited to be here. Quick side story to all this: I aside from my job at PRX, I coach high school hockey, so I'm usually doing podcasts for that. So I can say that this is like the first kind of gym pod that I've been on. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's a cool thing, and obviously you do a great job with it, and a good platform for us to get on here and talk. But yeah, change, having Justin leave, and I could speak to that a lot, right? I was just close with him as like a working relationship, but we were buddies. Really tremendous leader. So it was hard to see him go as a professional. Also hard to see him go as just a friend and a mentor, and someone who left a really big footprint on PRX. We brought him in for a specific reason, and we needed him. And he helped us like kind of right the ship in some areas and push through in some other areas. So, I don't think the vision was clouded when we brought him in. I just think we were looking for a leader like that to help us really get some like key pieces, like some key product, right? Like some of the functional trainers you see us launching, and to get those across the finish line and really get back to like, our space saving equipment and what we do. And then, so now how Ryan comes into this, it happened quick, right? I don't know if, you don't go around.
It was a surprise to me because I texted Justin to get him back on the show, and he said, well, actually, I got to put you in touch with Tyler because I'm no longer there. I'm like, what?
I knew that was going to happen. I'm like, hey, just send everybody, he's such a,
he's a good
easy
dude
to talk to guy.
And actually, let's make it, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we want to make it clear that he returned to his previous industry. There wasn't any like fallout or anything like that. So
and I think that's what made it hard, right? Like, because internally there was this like, hey, our president's leaving. What does that look like, right? I mean, we thought that, like, internal people did, but as he explained, and like you did there too, he got an unbelievable opportunity to work back in Regina in Canada, which is where he's from. in ag, which is where his heart is. I know he came to PRX like kind of looking for a new venture. He felt like he had kind of gotten all he could get out of his current spot there. So, you know, if he's listening, and I'm sure he'll check in later. I know he's back doing what he loves, and you know we miss him obviously. But yeah, so enter Ryan. Ryan had been working with us. He's just come on his year anniversary there, but he was like our director of sales and outside business. So he was involved. You know, I think it was.
So everybody just basically moved up.
Yeah,
well, not everybody,
you know,
but yeah.
I think we restructured maybe a little bit there. You know, and a lot of us that kind of are in those seats have been there for a while or have been in the company for a while. Yeah. So
6 years for you, right?
Yeah, which is insane. I still, it's hard to imagine that, and you know, but it's awesome. I love it, and so Ryan jumps in, you know, incredibly forward thinking. You know, I don't doubt a tough spot for him to jump into, right? When you're focusing on one thing, you know, as your role in the company, and then you kind of have to oversee all things. But, you know, to me, like, I think that's a nod to our, you know, whole like core of employees on, hey, step in, ask questions, lead. And, you know, we think we got the ship headed in a pretty good direction this year. And, you know, it took us a little while to get it pointed in that direction. You know, but it feels really good now, and we're proud of it. And, you know, I'd say it's less hectic in e-commerce. I think, you know, maybe I'm saying that, and if anybody at work's listening, they're probably pissed at me now because today will be wild. But, yeah. But you know, it's been refreshing to have all this change, which could appear like a problem on the outside, or it could appear like, oh wow, that's a tough look for PRX. Like, it's been really refreshing to think like we're still right in stride. Nothing really seems to have changed. Brian, who is our CEO, was in, and we were scheduled to go over some like vision exercises and kind of go through all those pieces at the start of the year anyway. So we jumped through that and ran through it with the team, like as it stands right now. And, you know, it's good. Like, not a whole lot changed. And I think that's great. Like, we're not necessarily hunting for something that we aren't. We're focusing on like our product, what we're good at. And, you know, some of our biggest problems right now are hours in the manufacturing shop and probably a couple more sets of hands, just, you know, in assembly and pushing things through. So, you know, we're humming along, and our goal is to, you know, get back to being caught up and get out of pre-order on some products. And that's a big goal of ours for the first half of this year.
So, I'm going to go ahead and address this one because he's going to have to go to bed soon. So Kevin's in Japan. So it's nighttime there for him. He actually has a YouTube channel, and he was a guest host for our Mailbag Monday segment last week, as a matter of fact. So anyway, he said, is PRX selling in Japan currently? Because I haven't seen any. He said it sounds like a good fit with the small spaces. He said it's like a 90 square foot bedroom gyms. So their situation is most of them don't have garages, and I believe that they don't have basements, which makes sense. It's an island. That'd be a bad idea. So Kevin's gym, for example, is in a 90 square foot bedroom. And because your stuff is designed to work around small spaces, I think that's one of the reasons why it just stood out to him. So that's his question. Do you guys, if you're not there, do you have plans on being there?
Well, Kevin, I think it's a great question, and we get this all the time. And even from when I was doing social, like it was a daily question. So currently we are not. We don't sell in Japan. We don't really sell internationally at all. I mean, obviously we ship to Canada there, but we have sent some pallets.
That's just upper America.
Yeah. I mean, right. We just kind of gone through. Yeah. That's amazing. And we have sent some pallets like Germany, Netherlands, and it's something we're looking into. And, you know, before this 2020 national crisis, you know, whatever all that was like our North Star was to get international. And, you know, whether we were equipped for it at that time or not, but obviously the world flipped upside down. So it's something we're circling back around to. I can't throw a timeline out, but we're going to try to get to some select places. Like we're pretty close on like getting containers situated and sending them straight to Australia. You know, I think somewhere along the lines in like Japan is somewhere in the mix. You know, what we're trying to do is, you know, from where we source some of our equipment, see if we can just send it right there. You know, also like the things that we make out of our HQ, you know, how can we incorporate that? So there's a lot of layers to it. And I don't know even half of them. But we would love to get there. We see you guys and we hear you guys. You know, it's with a small team, like it's still on our radar and something that we think between this year and next year, like we have time to focus on and actually get projects like that across the finish line. It's
so we were talking about it. So one of the issues with Japan is the distance, cost of shipping and everything. So I literally have never thought of this question until today. And I've heard people say, oh, is it available in this country or that country? And again, it always goes back, well, it's the distance and there's the shipping. Greenland is right there. How come nobody ships to Greenland from America?
Oh, man. I knew you were going to ask me hard questions. I didn't know you were going to ask me these logistic questions. And
I'm like, well, I mean, like you can just guess because I'm like, it just occurred. I was like, because it's actually, I would think it'd be easier to get something from Alaska to Greenland than to get it from North Dakota to Alaska, because you got to go past Canada and it's like you got mountain ranges and all that. But I'm like, Greenland is literally right there. How come we don't ship? And as far as I know, we don't ship anything to Greenland. So that's it. They even have Thanksgiving over there, I believe. So anyway.
Yeah, it's like the pipeline, man. We got to get it. We got to get it dialed in. You know, it's something we got to get to. You know, I don't know the how, right? And I think you got to get heads over to where some of our stuff is, you know, manufactured internationally, QC it, right? And we could. I think the game would be to just be passing containers those directions. You know, where the starting point is. That's probably where it's got to make sense in the dollar book, but you know, I think it's doable, and that's stuff we're looking for too. Like looking into right now is, can we just get some stuff straight to Canada? Because it should not be hard to get stuff to Canada, but if we have to pass the border, like the duties and fee, so that
we start on the border.
Yeah, right.
They held up my towel at customs. I had a gym towel I ordered, and it literally got held up at customs. So I'm really mad at
that must have
that's what they're talking about. It's like I'm mad at the Canadian border right now.
We don't have too much trouble getting in and out because I feel like I sound Canadian, but not like all the time there.
So this is a question from Trevor. He wants to know if you guys have plans for a dual weight horn attachment for your belt squat.
Yeah, we do.
Let me see if I can pull up that belt squat real quick. Well, you go ahead and you start answering the question.
Yeah. No, we do. I think we just have to get it across. Like it's right there. It's something we talked about. We got this feedback right away. So it's one of those where it's like, hey, we just need to get this done. You know, our small team of engineers, like it's right there. But again, we just need to get it done. Like right when we launched the product, that's what people were asking for. I mean, I will say you can throw a ton of weight on the single horn that's there, but you know, in the fight to stay up to like industry standards and what we know everybody's looking for, we need that. So it's coming. Britain's been an absolute beauty to work with on that product and obviously get to know. Love running into him at Home Gym Con, and you know, like we really found massive value in working with guys like Britain and in different situations like that on getting products done. So that's one of our favorites. Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm on your attachments page. That's why I was just looking around. So I know it's on here. Unless it's in a different.
Go to weight training. Just hover over weight training. I think you'll see it. There you go in the middle there.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
I was like, I know it.
Yeah,
it's a attachment. Got you.
Yep.
Okay. There's a cool little video right there. Look at that. All right. So what Trevor's asking is, you guys going to do dual weight horns instead of the single? All right. So everybody's caught up now.
Yep. Okay. And the non-technical drawings, TK would say, hey, can we just like angle a couple posts off the side and have it flip down the way, the weight horn does flip down. I think that's what we're going for there. And,
Okay.
Want to make sure those aren't going to interfere like when someone's obviously using it, but
Right.
something we need to get out to the community for sure.
All right. So that was a good question. Let me go ahead and get rid of that one. And then this one is more, I'm not sure if you guys do a lot of this, but so Ishitani was asking about stall mats. So you guys have a stall mat solution or something, or let's just say a flooring solution that's not super expensive. Do you guys have that?
Oh, we don't offer flooring.
In packages or whatever.
No, I love it though too. I don't know. I think the stall mats thing is this running like answer. When people ask about gym, I love it. When I started, I was social media, and one of the saved responses on Instagram was like, go to your local like big store,
That's
big
it.
box, or like farm equipment store and get your 4x6 stall mats and let it rip.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's what I had in my.
That's what your neighbors at Massonomics, they're taking stall mats to an unprecedented level.
The next level.
Stall mat coasters, caught me off guard. I was like, okay,
that's legendary.
Respect.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
With that new smell and everything.
Yeah. Like the gripper stall mat gripper challenge. Because I was like, yeah, this do suck to carry. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst part. Yeah. So we had some stall mats, and we would cut little squares to use as our leveling kits, because like in a situation where someone puts a folding rack on their wall and their floor of their garage is sloped right for the drainage, you would get that side of the rack that would essentially float. So we would send some basically a shim of stall mat. So yeah, we're pretty close to the stall mats, but we do have a flooring solution that we work with. I believe it's called Rubber Logics, and it's actually what I have in my new home gym. So hopefully the next time I'm on here, I'll be able to sit in my home gym instead of just in this basement with no backdrop. But we have.
You need a Garage Gym Life banner. I know where you can get one.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, a little carry. It'll be good to be buzzing in there. We do. I think flooring is one of those things like, when I'm having conversations with people, I'm like, hey, do just a little bit. Like I try to point in a direction and then encourage, like, do a little bit of research on flooring, because I think it's a huge piece of the home gym.
Right.
And I think that you want to know enough to generate your own decision. Not because I don't think that we have the answers, but if like someone's coming in and like, do you have a flooring solution? And they're like, my gym's going to be the A+ of home gyms, and then we're like, hey, just go rip some 4x6 stall mats. That might not be like, what do you mean? Like something that a horse is supposed to stand on. So, if someone can like do 5% research, I think we can funnel, because like you get these. Yeah. I mean, home gyms they're blowing up, and it's not wild to park 4 cars outside so you can do 4 stalls of home gym equipment. You got turf in there, and
sounds like heaven to me. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's cut in flooring. I mean, I'm guilty of it, right? I have a 10x10 in their puzzle piece, but I cut like the male and female off the ends, like for the outside edge, and then bought some really nice edging to tie it all in. So I'm hoping, it's going to finish like with a really clean look. And I plan to like share, all the details of it when it's done, and probably make a few YouTube videos. But, I think it's one of the things that I was most asked about. But there's a lot of good opportunity, or a lot of good resources out there, and a lot of good options. So I think, a little bit of, investigation, and then I think, anybody could help funnel you in the right spot.
So we got another one. This is from Carlos. What's up, Carlos? From Synergy Custom Fitness.
Carlos.
He said, we're big PRX fans here. He said, TK has crushed it with Klein experience. Well done. And I want to use that as a segue into my next question. So let's go there, because you are the director. So CX right there is customer experience. So you are the director of customer experience. And I said, I told you in the rundown, so that sounds way cooler than customer service manager. Whenever I don't care where you work, if you say you're the customer service manager, I picture you working at like McDonald's. And shout out to people working at McDonald's, but it doesn't sound like, it just sounds like somebody who's tired. Like you get yelled at a lot, right? Like you're just getting yelled at. I go to like my intro says I wake up in the morning and I yell a lot. I'm like, you wake up in the morning and you go get yelled at. but you don't really have, that's not your reality. And so I want to know, what's the coolest way that you're able to interact with customers on a daily basis in your position?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yeah, I think the answer is probably maybe not what most will think when you see that, like my title there, but I typed it as CX, and right away I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to appear like a web nerd, because it just,
Yeah.
I don't know, something about it. Right. But yeah, Carlos beauty comment there. I hope you guys are doing well. You guys are awesome and super fun to work with. But yeah, customer experience, like our, probably from the outside looking in, PRX looks really big. And I would say that it's not. We're checking in with about 45 employees right now. So I think the title is what made the most sense.
Yeah.
Much of my time at PRX was spent purely in marketing, but I was heading up social media. So I was like,
Right.
all social conversations, it was me behind the screen. So then it was almost like marketing and customer service weren't always stride for stride and the same. And when we were big, you have all these departments, and it gets like that. But as we kind of tightened back down, it was like, hey, customer experience. So then the two like spider webs that come off of that are, you have marketing and customer service. So I kind of oversee both there.
Right.
And it is crazy. And I never know which hat is on more than the other most days, but I think that's the fun of e-commerce. So how can people get a hold of me? Like how, hey, if you comment TK anywhere, or reach out, DMs, whatever, like it'll get to me pretty quick.
Nice.
Just from all the time I was there in that seat, I know there's a ton of connections, and obviously, like email wise, I'm not far away, and I'd say anybody could shoot me an email, and I'd be willing to converse and just talk home gyms, right? I love it as much as everybody else. So I'm not very layered behind it. I'm right there, and my team's incredible. They probably don't sound like I do or have the same vocabulary as I do, but they're talking and acting and advertising our company in exactly the way I'd want them to. So, if you're not talking directly to me, you're talking to somebody who, has the same values and obviously character as I do. But I'm not far away for anybody. Pretty proud of the role that I'm able to sit in and work with our customer service team and our marketing team. And I think that we're so connected, it keeps our ear a lot closer to the communities and to the conversations. And it's fun. Like for a glimpse inside the building, we all sit pretty close together. So, hey, did you see this comment? Or, when we're working with people, I think it's fun, right? It keeps us grassroots, and it keeps us customer first, and you can't lose that. And, I think like I appreciate our team's perspective of like, we think about like, hey, we're planning this promo, or we're planning on doing this. Like, what's the customer going to say? How are the customers going to respond to this? So, connecting those two departments, I think keeps us forward thinking a little bit more, and, keeps it about the customer. And I like that. But yeah, if you guys are getting in the comments, just holler for TK, and I'll find a way to pop in there. And I love catching up with you guys when I can.
I think that's really cool, man. Because like you said, it should be connected. Because I think that we were talking before you came, before you were backstage, we were talking about how brands have like a successful brand has a 3 to 5 year plan about where they want to go. And that's going to guide the kind of products that you guys are going to create, which means that's going to guide the kind of marketing that you do. But then at the same time, you're also building that plan based off of what you're seeing people are into, how their market is shifting. So if you see that, for example, more older people are starting to exercise, you're like, well, the kinds of things that we sell are going to need to cater to that guy who maybe 55 years old, he's starting to work out for the first time. Well, in 5 years, he's going to be 60. What will he need at that point? How can we get ready to provide that to him so he doesn't have to go somewhere else, right? So I think that that's a really good way to marry the customer experience with the marketing side, instead of having them on completely opposite sides of the house where they don't even talk to each other. You're like, that's how you end up with products where people are like, who was asking for that? No, nobody wants that thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So Carp has a follow-up on the belt squat thing. He said, I have a buddy that recently bought the belt squat, and he's run out of space pretty quick on that weight horn, even using a mix of red plates than red competition plates. So it would be nice if you had horizontal weight plates, horns as well. And I think that that's good feedback too, because also,
yes,
I was talking to a brand that shall remain anonymous at HFA, and they were saying that the engineers don't talk to the marketing and the customer service people. They just make stuff because they might see another company make something and say, oh, well, we need one too. And he's like, yeah, well, our customers want this, not those things that, you know. And so I think this kind of feedback is vital for you, because you can now take it back and say, yeah, people are asking about this, you know, and you kind of direct so you're not just spending money to spend money on building stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see a Carp there in the comments, like, and for sure, I mean, we have to have it. And I was trying to connect YouTube, but I didn't want to blow up my connection because we're buzzing on the stream here. But I'll certainly get back, you know, whether it's just under me or under the PRX alias, and respond to everybody here. It's cool seeing the
actually
engagement.
Go ahead and try it. See if you can put it in the. Do you see a comment, like a place to post a comment on?
Yeah, I do. It wants me to just connect to YouTube.
Oh, it won't let you do it. I got you.
Yeah, we'll see. Like it may just pop through here. But I didn't want to do that in the middle of it and then get sidetracked. And I'll do it afterwards and come back through into the comments for sure.
And that'd be cool, because then you'll catch some of the Replay Gang comments.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Speaking of Replay Gang, there are 8,295 of you watching live. Thank you so much for being here. And like my guy Jonathan said, don't forget to crush that like button. I need 80. Okay, it's 8,300 of you. I need that many likes. Hit like. Don't just watch it. I do understand, because you guys share your videos with me in your DMs and your Instagram stories and stuff. So I see some of y'all are lifting, you know, while listening to the show. So some of you are driving and you're just listening to it. Please don't get in a car wreck trying to make a comment on a video, okay? Don't do that. I didn't say that. Don't do that, all right? But I am saying, if you get time, please come back around and drop a comment, even if all you do is say where you are. Speaking of where you are, Matthew Porter, are you still in New Zealand, or are you back in America? I need that comment at least before you leave to go to work or whatever you're doing today. I need to know if you're in New Zealand still. He sent me a picture of himself at the place where they shot the two towers, Lord of the Rings. And so, yeah, I need to see that. All right. Okay. Here we go. Look, TK's a big 5'8" society guy.
Yeah. I knew, this is unreal. All
right. And it's funny because Harry said you're a big 5'8" society guy, and Carlos said, well, I'd like to see 1-inch holes in the PRX uprights.
Yeah, man. No,
okay.
I wish I could just be
ready,
in the chat,
fight.
Yeah. My fingers are gonna be humming on the keyboards here later when I get to work and get connected. But
you know what? You can say what you want to say. Say your comments back. Sure. That's fine. That's cool.
No, I love it. God, I think so. When Kleckner was on, I think this conversation popped up, and I had it on in the morning, right in the house, and then I popped in, and I'm like, you know, the 5/8 1-inch conversation was going on, and I was ripping in there, and like, we're
dude, you can literally just start answering. You can do the rest of this interview could just be you answering comments. I'm fine with that. I legit. And if you want to ask them questions, I'm fine. I got all kind of capabilities. Watch this. I'll just do this, and I'll be drinking coffee in the background, and you just have at it. I don't care. That's fine by me.
Let's do this. This is great.
Yeah, like go. I love that, man. So while the questions I ask are just to fill space until the important ones pop up in the chat. But I do want to ask you this one, because I do think it's kind of important. I had conversations with people this past week about it, and we even talked about it a little bit on the show last week. So one of your competitors, we don't have to get into their name, but we're starting to see brands start to veer away from affiliate relationships, from having affiliates and from influencers. And I think there's a difference between being an influencer and being a person of influence. And I'll just say that. All right. But one of your competitors abruptly canceled all but their top performing affiliates, because they're going to spend their money on Google ads, Facebook ads, right? And
Sure.
I've had people say, hey, look, I make money on Facebook if I just run an ad. So you have to, you do have limited ad spend budgets and everything. And I know this is a little bit outside your area, but as far as is PRX intending to continue with the affiliate model for at least this current year?
Yeah, and I would say that this isn't something that is really outside of what I deal with. Carrie handles like our affiliates, but
Okay.
I'm pretty in tune with it because I used to too.
Perfect.
But you're right, John, like there's not a one size fits all for any sort of like affiliate or influencer, or ambassador, partnership. There's so many different like types of, you get mix the word collaboration in there. I think like that it's so great. It's so great. But as far as our affiliate platform, yes, we're going to absolutely keep that going. I don't see any change there. We used to, it's hard, like creator deals and putting those things together. I think they're hard. I think I would probably have the same answer as everybody else. Oh, we want people that genuinely love the product and use it. And those are the best affiliates, right? The ones that are doing it and it's genuine and it's just happening. And they may not even be looking for like the money side of it. They're just, hey, this is what I am and this is what I'm doing. And, oh, you have an affiliate program. What a bonus, right? Maybe I'll cover my Starbucks for a month or something. There's different trades and different things. And I think, and it even bounces back to what we were talking about before, like you have to be involved in the community and you want people getting their hands on your product and reviewing it or talking about it. And, we're only as big as we are. When we launch something, it's only getting launched to the people that are, really following us and really engaged with what we're doing. So
100%,
to get it out to others, you want to kind of get onto their communities as well. So, I'd say it's something like,
it's like that overlapping, that diagram where it's got like the Venn diagram where it's got the overlapping circles and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I, I don't think that, and I know we aren't the most talked about name and we're not a massive company by any means, but I think like we've found a ton of success in our niche. But I think we also bring a lot of product to the table that probably doesn't get considered. And that's okay. But I think that's where we have to lean on our community and different people and be like, hey, PRX is a lot more than folding squat racks, space saving gym equipment. We have these things too. And I know there's a community outside of like this tight knit home gym, that maybe doesn't engage with all the social stuff the same way a lot of us do. And a lot of those customers come by our product, but we have to continue to have that community vibe and work with and, set up plays with different people that are talking about gym equipment and creating content around gym equipment. So to me, like, again, if want to reach out, like I'm pretty involved in those conversations, if not the one just completely handling them. So it's something we're open to. Yeah, I know that, Meta and Google and ad spend is this big beast that everyone's got to tame and set money aside for. But, what we've found through different experiences, whether they're recent or a couple of years ago, is we have to stay involved in this community. We have to listen. This community is really powerful. And if we can stay inside of that and have great sentiment in that group and work with, creators or different people like that, it's good for us. We've found some incredible product collaborations. I think the most notable one, right, is the one that everyone sees, like PRX and Dialed Motion. And that was second year of Home Gym Con. We were running around checking out product, and then like we went to the Dialed Motion, and like, so it just seems like forever ago, and the booths were smaller and it was this smaller experience, but it was awesome. I mean, we were in French Lick, we found these guys, we came over and we just started doing what the home gym, like kind of just nerding out on the product and be like, do you think there's a world where these two things can go together? And now look, we brought out the plate loaded unit, and our weight stack functional trainer has been a hit. Under our roof, it's been crazy, right? Because we launched this thing, we've been tweaking it, we've been, James and Lee have had some unreal like just tweaks to it to really bring this thing to a next level, and we're going to start shipping out our first pre-order in April. So have to work with the community. I think, all you guys in the comments that are listening, I think you guys are great. We're listening too, and like we're involved in it, and we want to hit the mark the best we can. And we had spent some time where we were just putting product to market and think, well, we're doing this, people will just buy it, and it didn't happen like that. So I think we're listening better than we ever have been, and bringing out some of the better products than we ever have.
So this is more recent than some of the other comments, and I've seen all you guys' comments. I've starred them all so I don't miss them. And in fact, just to show you what's going on right now, Spencer, I saw your question that you DM'd me on Instagram just now. I just answered it. So I'm not going to say it aloud, but I answered your question. And then as far as the comments that are here, I want to do this one first and then go back to the top and look at some of the other ones.
Yeah, there's so many now. I saw.
Oh yeah, I love it. This is you got my heart fluttering. I love it. He said, but anyway, said one thing I will lean into heavily is the made in the USA, because I don't think a lot of people realize that your company is made in the USA. Now you do have part of your brand that's made overseas, correct?
Yep.
All right, but the stuff that people know you guys for is made right here in America. And I will add also that there is a perception that we've got tons of space in America, and so people just have these big homes and everything. Well, if you look in anywhere it's very cold, the rooms in homes tend to be smaller, because you tend to have especially the older homes. There's not as much room, and you're trying to keep. It was easier to climate control, especially in the wintertime, right? So in the Northeast, you're going to have a lot more small bedrooms. You're going to base a lot of basements and things like that. And I think PRX is tailor-made for that kind of environment where it's small. And as Kevin was saying, if you want to go overseas, even in England, a lot of the homes are smaller. They're just made for not smaller people, but they're just they don't need to spread out as much. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think that the space saving side of things, while it may seem that it's not a big deal, it's actually the thing that we think is so awesome about your company, because what you're doing is increasing access. So people who may have felt, especially somebody in an apartment, they may have felt like, man, I got no choice but to go join a gym, and maybe for certain reasons I can't. Well, now I can do that. What if you're a caregiver and you live in an apartment? Who am I going to leave my mom or my whoever with while I go work out? And it's a 2-bedroom apartment. Well, PRX may have your solution, whatever. So I think that that's a big deal.
Yeah, you never realize how much time you don't have until you have kids, or you get out of college. Like it's I'm fighting for 30 minutes or an hour, and we just have one kid right now, and and like it's cool. We're super fortunate to have a pretty cool gym at work. We're rebuilding it, but a handful of us will work out there after work, and it's awesome. But I've been on that home gym grind, like in the garage forever. I mean, we've moved. I've had small spaces. We used to detail cars out of a shop and have a gym in the back with like DIY platform and all that. But in our house before this one, all that stuff was packed on the back wall, and you had to. It's like you were playing on a jungle gym to get through it, to get into the house, but it just felt right, and it was. Or
like the backyard sheds, people.
Yeah, it's
like you put it in a shed. Like we're gonna build a little shed in the backyard. It's not gonna be huge, but I got just enough room to put equipment in there. That to me is like, because I've had the backyard shed life. I've done that as well. And I'm telling you, if you guys had existed in 2001 when I had a backyard shed, life would have been so much easier for me. Because my space was so limited. Kinsey, what's up? Welcome from Utah, representing Utah. KPX Home Gym Lab said, I'll be catching the replay for sure. I love PRX. Let's jump back into some of these comments from above. Including the ones from the fight. So Carp said, I'm a big 1-inch holes guy. Pause. And Spencer said, we need 1-inch holes. That's my whole ecosystem. Okay. Carp wants to know how the Roman Strength Megalith handles are doing with your Halo lever arms.
Okay, great question. Me personally, I love them. Like there isn't a better option. I mean, obviously Rory's just a complete beauty, and love catching up with him at Home Gym Con I love catching up with them at home gym con as well, but they feel so good. And I love that you're asking about the Halo arms here. Like our Build Limitless Halo arms, no doubt. I'm sure you've all seen that they've been out of stock. Like we're so backed up in manufacturing with our own that like we need to readdress some tooling with that product and make it so that we can manufacture it. Like we just had too many times that product was going out and customers were having, different issues with it. And we would end up getting to the finish line with that customer, but it was after parts are coming back and parts are coming out. So to me, like that's a product we just have to, we need to dial it in internally a little bit more and fix some tooling before we can really consistently have that product in stock, because not only does it take a lot of time with like cut and weld, and so running through our plant, it takes a lot of time in assembly as well. And we've had to make some decisions on, hey, what do we need to prioritize running through our shop, because we're a little bit behind on some of our key pieces. And now our profile 1-inch Halo arms, like that's something we're putting more priority towards keeping those around. I believe the 1-inch ones are just out of stock because of our storage unit. So the arms themselves are there. We're just waiting for more storage to come through. But I love the Rohrman handles on these. It makes every movement like so much more natural. I mean, obviously just as that product is advertised, but we've seen a ton of success like with that being the handle option that people choose there. So I think they're great. What an awesome product. Rory's done an incredible job there. And, we're grateful to have them and offer them with our product too. So top performer for sure.
Matthew Porter, I know that it's not like you don't have a ton of other things that you got going on with your life, but I want to pull this up that we were talking about before. We were talking about the belt squat, because this is the sort of thing that I think might be decent to outsource. That's why I said, it's not like Matthew isn't already busy, but if you want something done, give it to a busy man. All right. Because there you go. And this was Carp was talking about getting dual weight horns for the profile belt squat, right? And it seems like you don't really need to redesign the entire unit. You just need some sort of weight horn attachment option that lets you put 2 weight horns on instead of 1. So I'm just throwing that at you, Matthew, and y'all decide what y'all want to do. And if it leads to something with PRX, you don't have to send me any money, but I do expect a Christmas card. And I'm serious about that card. Okay, I don't play about my Christmas anyway. All right. Carp said, I like everything about the belt squat. I think it's the best way you can get it on the market, especially for that best one you can get on the market, especially for that price point. And not everybody's going to be strong enough to handle, that much weight. So you are correct.
Appreciate you.
And Matthew is back in America. Safe. There you go, my man. Got him back from the New Zealand. The Kiwis didn't kidnap him. Another Carp question. What's your top selling product so far this year? Or you can, if you don't know yet, if you haven't gotten your quarter results, we can talk about last year. What was the one thing that was like your top seller?
Well, the 2 top of the line products for us have been the plate loaded functional trainer. And so that like obviously that is our pro rack with that attachment. Like we sell it as just a functional trainer unit. So the plate loaded functional trainer, and then this year has been the weight stack functional trainer. So those are topping up the list. And there's some usual suspects that are always up there, like our 3 and 4 peg storage units, and our bar storage, like hanging bar storage, and then our incline folding bench. So those are always up there. But I think what's been really cool about that is, we felt like we were probably behind the ball a little bit when it came to the functional trainer game. And, it's something we had talked about for a long time. And we were like, even internally, we were like, hey, we have this folding rack. Like it's a 1-of-1 product right now. There's other units that fold in, no doubt. But ours is a 1-of-1, and we need to get a weight stack on the wall and make it happen. So, and we made it happen. I think we've done tremendous work there, but I think we were a little behind the ball on that. So, that is what it is. They're out now, and they've been top performers for us. So, that functional trainer, cable, squat rack, really feeling like that was something that everybody was looking for. And for us to pair that with our unique prop it's been huge for us. And I think it that's the entry point, right? Like to our ecosystem. And We do offer, some standalone units, which have actually, picked up a lot in popularity. Like we're selling more Trident, we're selling more of like the Build Limitless half rack and the Build Limitless wall mount. And like I have the Build Limitless wall mount going in my garage. It's in boxes right now, but the install is coming soon. And, early on when we started moving away from some of this wall mounted stuff, it's like, well, where does this fit? Like, how's that going to fit into the community? And, I think the Trident's a really good example of, even though it's not wall mounted, you're packing a really, I don't want to say a full gym, but you're packing a really big gym experience into a small footprint.
That's what I wanted to say, is like, because if you've got an apartment, the thing we were talking about earlier, you got an apartment, is a small space. Wall mounted may not work because your landlord's not excited about your power rack like you are, right? So if you can put something in there that's got a small footprint, like the half rack functional trainer, the Build Limitless, then you've got options to still have a gym in there that doesn't take up a ton of room. So that's why I went ahead and went to that page, to just kind of show that it's got different color options. So you got all the different color options there. So I just think that's something I wanted to make sure that I pointed out. Let's see here. What's another one? So this one these two questions kind of go hand in hand. So I'll do the Home Gym Harry one and then come back to Matthew. So Harry said, what's up, Harrison? I don't know if I said good morning to you, my bad. He said, any plans to integrate digital resistance into your ecosystem? Those systems are incredibly space saving. So it seems like they would pair nicely with PRX's offerings. And then Matthew said, my Axis Pad leg extension paired with my Voltra is one of my favorite pieces of equipment. And you were talking about the thing you guys did with Dial Motion. So any plans to do anything with Voltra or with Anchor? Anything like that?
So electronic resist, I mean, that's definitely something we spent a lot of time talking about that the last couple of weeks. We think we've like hit the nail on the head with some of our functional trainers, but now what's next, right? To ensure that we maybe don't miss again or find ourselves behind. And I think that some sort of electronic resistance is, absolutely the play. It is something we're absolutely working on. We have a Voltra, but that's just to use. And I would echo that sentiment there, Porter, like with the leg curl extension, it feels so good. I've just recently kind of had my hands on some E-resistance stuff and some like E-stack pieces, and it's incredible. So, if you're asking me if PRX is getting into, absolutely. We're looking to incorporate electronic resistance with our folding racks. So to obviously replace the stack or even the plate loaded unit there. So that's a goal.
Okay.
We've had some product in and tested it and put it right alongside our piece and have had to pass it back along, but pretty cool stuff. Like it's so new. So I hate to be that guy that shares and that.
Oh, no.
PK talked about that. Right. And it's been forever, like one of those type of things, but we're in it. And, I think it'd be a really cool thing. I mean, we all engage with our phones and we're all connected to more like through our phone. So, I don't know if I love like using my phone when I'm working out, but I'm still a pretty traditional bar and plates guy. But, I think the greater majority of the world that is training is using their phone and pairing it with their workout. So, getting into that space is maybe something where you're adjusting the resistance on your phone, tracking reps, having to look at just power and output like that. I think that's going to be a really cool thing. And we're headed straight for it. So I'm excited for it.
So shout out to this, actually is a new high. We had over 11,000 of you guys watching. So
awesome.
That tells me Tyler's going to be back on next Friday, whether he wants to be or not, because he got me over 11,000. And we're going to say the exact same things we said this week, just because I don't know which thing did it. But we got over 11,000. You guys hit the like button, hit subscribe for me. Appreciate you guys checking out the show. Just to muddy the water a little bit, what do they call it? Like leading the witness or whatever. I think... So, and your question, Harry, was about digital resistance. So I'm going to say, although Anchor is not digital resistance, I actually like the fact that it's an analog solution. It's still kind of in that family of space saving. So to me, an Anchor unit actually fits very well into like your folding cage. So I pulled up the profile. because it just makes sense to me. You got the anchor unit, or whatever over in a corner. You unfold your cage, attach the anchor unit, you're off to the races. And in that situation, it may make sense. I mean, you guys have your business model, but like you have the collaboration with Synergy Custom Fitness. So they make dumbbell racks. You guys make dumbbells, right? Anchor, you guys make power racks. Well, you need some sort of upright to attach an anchor to. It just seems to me to make really, really good sense for that sort of integration to happen. And it's going to require, the only thing is basically like seeing the financials, because there's absolutely no development necessary because the two things already are there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's some opportunities right there. Speaking as somebody from the community, just looking at it like, oh, this would help me. You know what I mean?
Well, and if we put ourselves out in a world where like so we get this product across the finish line, like I don't know how known the group that we're like developing this with is, like, if other people are looking at this or bringing it in like we are, or is it one of the resistance kind of groups that is out there and that people are talking like? I don't think it is.
Okay.
And the product that we got pretty like, and not entry level, but very like early on in development stages, but the technology is there. So working alongside, like, it feels really cool because when you look around, I'm like, I don't know if anyone else is talking about this. It's very new. So, being able to bring something like that to market and nailing it would be massive. And there's incredible competition out there already. Like, I mean, Vultures are awesome. And they're like, so, I mean, this space it's highly competitive, and, of course, right. I go to work there every day. I should think we're onto something, but I really do. And it's fun, working on these things behind the scenes, and you get excited about like what could be, and hoping we can really, like I said, nail it and get it out there.
All right. So Matthew said he thinks that Rep 1 would be perfect for PRX.
I do too.
Okay. All right. I want to talk about this, touch on this, as we only got 10 more minutes with you. So let's go back to customer service. The easiest way to make me a fan of a brand is through the warranty, right? That I see that you got a robust warranty for when unintended problems occur. So what's your favorite story about resolving a customer concern? Since I see way too many people immediately take their customer service issues to Instagram instead of contact, like, it blows my mind how many people I see it posted, like something on Instagram. I'm like, well, what did the company say? And that's what I usually say. If I respond, I'm like, what did the company say when you ask them? Oh, I haven't reached out to them yet. Like, well, what are you telling us for? We can't help you. So let's narrow those two things. What's your favorite story, and what's the best way to get a customer issue resolved?
Yeah. Oh, well, social media is magical, right? For a lot of, I think it's used positively. And then, I think there's some suspect plays happening on social media these days, but it is what it is. Favorite story. It's relatively recent. And it was when we were moving. So I had my gym all taken down, and I can't exactly, a customer needed to upgrade, and it was something like they needed 1-inch holes, so I had I have my old PRX rack that I then updated to the 5/8-inch holes uprights because, all of our attachments were going to that. More opportunity for more holes on the front, more holes on the side. So I had my old uprights that were 5/8, kind of odd spaced on the side, but 1 inch on the front.
Okay. And
someone needed them, and we didn't have any more. And I'm like, I got in touch with the customer. I'm like, look, these are chilling in my shed. They're in fantastic shape. There's probably a few cobwebs on them, and you need these black uprights with the 1-inch holes, 90-inch. Like, there's none in our building. If you're okay with it, I'll give mine a wipe down and box them up and get them sent out, because that's the only option. Right. And he ended up being stoked about it. And so to me, it was like, that's awesome, big building, big company, but like, I find my way out to the warehouse just like everybody else. And in those situations, like, you do whatever it takes. And, like, that's, I
like that. The start off is back uprights out of the shed. I'm a fan, man. That's what I'm talking about. This is why I love this show, because that's not a story that you're gonna hear somewhere else. And I mean, obviously, it sounds like I'm patting my back. I guess I am, but I'm saying like these are the things that I want to be able to provide, because you're not like, how would you make an Instagram post about that? You know, I
Right.
guess it's probably
Right.
a way, but this just to me, I love that story, man. That was dope. I love it.
Yeah, it's, I think anybody in our company would do that, and how to get in touch, like reach out to us, like let us know what it is, or what the problem is, or what's not right, because it is our goal to try to make it right too, and we just have the products that we have, but I think if we can service the heck out of them, then that is going to go on forever, right? And that's going to push us to the top, in multiple different areas. So that's our goal, is to get you guys what you want, and make sure that our product is finding its home in your home gym and being used, and that you're loving it. And I know that there's always like mistakes, or this product didn't arrive correctly, whatever it may be. Like that's one thing we deal with all the time, is hey, my product showed up looking like this, and it's like, well, it stinks because that's not how we handle it right in our warehouse. And
it's usually not your fault, it's the shipping company.
It's like
whatever.
the X factor of it, right? And it happens, but like I want everyone to love their home gym and use their equipment, and know like, hey, I love my stuff from PRX. It hit the mark, and there's great people there, and they take care of me. So that's our goal, and we're pretty easy to get a hold of, whether it's through socials, and we get you into our customer service team, and whatever. But yeah, we're available, we're listening, and we have a very like small company mentality when it comes to helping out our customers.
So clip this, because I want to make sure, I'm going to probably turn this into a YouTube short. One thing I will say about the shipping part of things is make sure you take pictures, as many pictures as you can. If you need to do a video, do it, but provide photos to the company, because, and you can chime in if you got something to add about this, but basically the company, then they may reimburse you or replace the product for you. But what they then have to do is go to the shipping carrier to try to get reimbursement from them. And the only way they can do it is if they can show photos, because the shipping company is going to want to come inspect the package. And by the time, who's going to keep that stuff, right? And I've had the same thing happen. Like people have called me like, hey, can I see this? Can I get more information? It's for the shipping company so that they can make changes on their end. So if you have an issue with something and how it was shipped to you, take as many pictures as you can of it and provide them to the company so they can use that to turn in their claim to the shipping carrier, because it's not the company's fault most of the time. They packaged it. It looked good when they left their area, their shop or their facility, and they're the ones that are replacing it for you, but then they kind of get left in the lurch. So I'm just kind of throwing that out there. If you have anything you want to add about that, go ahead, feel free, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pictures are like wildly helpful for us. I mean, for us, it's a volume thing, because so many boxes going out, and then like, well, out of the 1,000, a couple only come back, right? Well, it's a volume thing for us. But yeah, again, like that, I know there's always going to be. That's why customer service exists, because things happen, and it's on us to handle it and find the best path with the customer there. But yeah, it's not. We don't want that to happen, but it does, and like I said, there's always going to be situations, and we're fighting to find the best path too, and when they do happen.
So only a couple more for me. We just came back from HFA. I mentioned it a couple times, and HFA is where a lot of local dealers connect with brands. And I know in this era of online only, it's easy to forget that there are local dealers. There are stores that you can go to buy home gym equipment. It's right there in your city. I promise you they are. And what I don't like is going to some local dealer and seeing stuff that I don't recognize, right? But I know that you guys have, like, you have the is it Shields?
Yep, Shields.
Stuff in Shields.
Big one.
That's like they have showrooms and whatnot. So how do you guys talk about the advantage of having the local showrooms enhances customer experience? And then how do you guys start building that dealer relationship to make sure this is a good location, for PRX performance products?
Yeah. Well, Shields has already done the hard work there.
Right.
If you haven't been to one, like, Shields are an unreal store for, I feel like they have the best stuff in all departments, whether it's clothing, hunting, fishing. You can get lost in that store, and it can put a hurting on your wallet. But we we had been in Shields before COVID, and like, so, you know, and all the crazy stories that exist, they just sold everything. Like it was right off the floor type stuff, and found our way back in there, kind of reignited that connection through Ryan, and we're in a lot more Shields. Like I want to say 11 or 12 stores across the states. The most notable performing ones are Colorado.
Okay.
So even
got one in
I
Texas?
believe we just, yeah, and recently
Illinois?
in Utah.
Okay.
But you know, we also have some like home builders or like, you know, garage builders that sell our stuff, and then for every gym they finish, it's like a showroom, you know. So while we cannot be everywhere, we try to support the people that help us get everywhere. And Shields has been awesome. You know, we've got some home gym builders that are like some garage builders that are awesome. You know, locally we do things with like Parade of Homes where they're like, hey, we have these feature homes on our map, we want to put a gym in, so that when someone's building a home with us, it's a checkbox like home gym or no home gym. And if they do, like, here's the package we're going to put in there. So I think little plays like that are cool. But that is an area of like our business that we want to develop. And that's something that that's kind of like a North Star thing for Ryan, is how can we get our equipment in more, you know, commercial style spaces or more showrooms, because Fargo, North Dakota is not maybe everyone's
not the Mecca.
I don't know if they're putting a pin on that, like coming here for vacation. You know, I think we have some cool things in our back pocket. But,
I'm just gonna say, look, that TV show helped y'all out, but it's not enough, right? I mean, so HFA is the place where you're gonna meet those dealers. It's just again, it's like, it seemed like, oh, it's a commercial show, but then this brand was telling me, like, look, we come here to meet dealers, because the dealers are going to have walk up traffic. They're going to have people who are older who will go down there not necessarily looking for a product or a brand. They'll say, hey, I need to start a home gym. The doctor said I need to start working out. And they'll just walk into the Fitness Depot or whatever and say, what do I need to get? And then they go and they will say, okay, well, this product, or this product. So that's my plug to you for HFA. I know it's a hike, but I promise to hang out with you if you go to Vegas next year.
We'll live pod. We'll find a way.
Yeah, we'll find. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Now, Home Gym Con is coming up. I know you guys are going to be there. I can't let you get out of here without asking you if you guys are taking prototypes to Home Gym Con. You're taking like what you're planning. If you want to give a sneak peek, you want to share your screen, feel free. You can trust the thousands of us who are here not to tell anybody. So if you want to do that, this is your chance, or you can just tell us like what kind of like your broad plans are. Yeah.
So we will have like a weight stack functional trainer there. I don't have like any juicy details like yet. I think there's still some time to develop a couple, so we'll see.
So you can come back and show me some stuff?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any juice there yet. So if I do, then maybe I'm just going to have to grab a ticket and get myself back in line here. But you know what? I love going to Home Gym Con. Like you know, selfishly, like I want to go every year. I think it's fun to be there and you know, be like representing our company that way. Like so much good has come out of it for us, and I think for everybody. And to continue to grow with that event is something that we look at every year. So you know, we're going to have our functional trainer lineup there. We're going to bring a Trident, which is like a standalone Build Limitless functional trainer with like dumbbell storage, all sorts of storage attached to it. So I think it's a super unique product, and I think people need to see it and touch it. I think it was Carp talking about like the made in the USA and how we need to lean into that more. I think that's probably the best way we can lean into it, is when people can actually see it and touch it, because it's one thing to experience it through a computer screen. But I think it'd be awesome to get a Trident there along with our functional trainer lineup. We're trying to like the things that people already know us for. We're like, okay, those things can stay home, to leave room for more new stuff. So there are a few, you know, we do have a little bit more room for some new stuff. So we'll see what we can get finished up here. But you know, we've released a lot of it.
Trident. I just show people what the Trident looks like.
Yep.
That way. Gotta get an idea.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to it. I think it's always fun that, you know, we have to like build this wild wall with our setup to install our stuff on it, which is it's a workout in and of itself. Like we're all leaking when we're done it, and you know, whatever. But it's it's fun to be able to create that actual atmosphere, and
Yeah.
because how else could we bring our stuff, right? So we put it on the wall and kind of create that, like, hey, look at all this gym equipment packed in a small space. So there was always this thought, like, should we do a bigger space? But
No,
it wouldn't feel as PRX, right?
Exactly.
It just wouldn't. So, you know, we keep it that way, and you know, work through the jungle gym when you get there to our booth. But yeah, we're excited. I think having the weight stack functional trainer is going to be such a cool product. Like, the thing is so intricate,
Right.
and you know, there's some things that Dialed Motion is working on that we're going to be able to integrate into our rack as well. So to me, like, it's going to be a really cool piece for people to get a much closer look at and actually use, you know, compared to obviously seeing it online and watching video.
Awesome. So that's it for me. How can people connect with you guys if they want to make a purchase? Obviously, they want to schedule a consultation. Where can they get the newsletter, just so they can keep up to date on what's going on? And if they're a dealer, because you said you want to build that relationship, so if they're a dealer who's watching on LinkedIn and they want to connect with you guys to get that ball rolling, how do they contact you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best spot for a lot of that general stuff is if you're on socials, you know, pop into the DMs or a comment, right? And you're likely going to run into Shannon there, and she's just incredible. So if you're looking for me, you can certainly like tap her and, you know, say, hey, I'm looking for TK or whatever, and you'll get to me pretty quickly. But use the footer of our website. You can sign up for our newsletter there. There's the contact us section that'll quickly get you in touch with our customer service team. We also have a dedicated commercial page there. So you can get in touch with our guys that handle like our commercial sales and our B2B. But yeah, I mean, if you generally, even like for someone that, hey, I have this product and I want to bring it to PRX, if you go to our contact us page, there's a button for that. So if you can give us some information, like, we can get that conversation rolling, or it's an entry point, right? So, you know, we're easy to get a hold of. We're a bunch of, you know, Midwesterners, like exactly as you would imagine, you know, just trying to occupy our little piece of this home gym community.
All right. So I said that I wanted to, that was my last question, and you're not prepared for this. I know you're not, but I just want to know, what possessed you guys to start putting beer and tomato juice in the same container and drinking it?
Oh, beer and clam. It's the best. It's like, I like a good Bloody Mary, but I love beer and clam. I'm
gonna read the ingredients for red beer. Okay, this red beer thing y'all drink. They actually drink this.
It's so good.
So Mexican beer, tomato juice, Worcester sauce, hot sauce, and a lime wedge.
I mean, that's probably a little next level there. Like, I'm just mixing a little Clamato or some Bloody Mix into a beer and calling it good there. But I have a hilarious story on this.
Go ahead. You got time to. I mean, this is ridiculous. So Dennis Cornelius, the world champion, IPF world champion, and I were talking, and he told me about red beer, and I said, "What is wrong with you?" And he told me what it was. He's from that area. So I was like, "Oh, if he's from," so I was like, "Tyler's from North Dakota. I bet you he's put this substance inside his body at some point." So I got to ask him this question. Explain yourself. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's exactly as you explained it. PRX, or beer and Clamato, and you know, you can be as simple as that. You can fancy it up with some spice, whatever. I've done it all over the place. So, like, I've been fortunate enough to, you know, play hockey, or my career has kind of taken me through some different places of the United States. And we were traveling for hockey, and we're in Omaha, which, mind you, like, I feel like Omaha is pretty well Midwestern. And I'm like, hey, I want a beer with some Clamato and a pickle spear. And this waitress looked at me like I was fresh out of prison. Like, like you want that? Like, you just don't want a cold beer? And so I got a beer, I got a little shooter cup of Clamato, and then I got a side in a black plastic side cup of pickle spears, pickle chips. It was insane. I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna work. You know, so I just ate the pickle chips as pickles. But yeah, I mean, I think it's fairly Midwestern too, like getting pickle in your beer. But yeah, maybe at home gym con, I just got to find a way to have some beers in there, a little Clamato, and then dunk some pickle spears in there just to get everyone a real taste of it. It's great.
That's what you could do. Like, watch people make have people watch you making this thing. That's what you should do. You're the social media guy. Just make a video of yourself doing this. So what you described is what I deal with whenever I go somewhere and I ask for sweet tea. I ended up saying, okay, y'all don't have sweet and iced tea. All right. What you have is iced tea that's then impossible to sweeten because you put the sugar on top of the ice, and how are you going to stir that, right? I'm like, seriously, did you take science class? Do you understand how osmosis works? And diffusion? Do you understand that? Okay. So what I always end up having to do is I have a Visp, shout out to Visp, and I'll say, just bring me the tea, bring me a glass of ice and some sort of sweetener, and I'll take care of the rest. And that's what so I end up making it at the table every time. I've never in my life, first of all, it never occurred to me, put fruit in beer. And I don't like the taste of beer in general, but the idea of that thing that you just described, I've never thought about doing that to myself.
I'm probably going to have one tonight.
But the look on your face was so full of joy that I didn't want to yuck another man's yum. So I'm like, if this is how you want to live your life and spend, these are your habits, you go right ahead and keep on putting your pickle spears. It sounds like a juicer commercial. We're going to put like pickle spears and beer and wow.
It's like an appetizer, if it's busy and you're like, oh, I can just get pickle with my
What
beer.
do you make this in?
Do
you use a juicer, a NutriBullet?
No, there's no
What's a pickle spear? You don't just it's sitting in there like a lime wedge, but it's
you just set it right in there. Pull it out, quick snack, like it's the appetizer before the appetizer.
So Spencer wants you to post the recipe. Yeah. So go ahead. I never know what's going to happen on this show. I wasn't ready for that.
This is amazing.
All right. Nice. Okay, man. Thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to having you come to Home Gym Con. And if you want, we have a live in-person show. You can come to the live in-person show. We will bring you the ingredients. If you send me the ingredients, and we will put it there, and I will have you make this thing that you will drink, not me. You will drink at Home Gym Con during our live in-person show. You're gonna make it and drink it right there in front of everybody. Are you down?
Done. I mean, I'll probably have a couple.
Okay. Hey, no problem. All right, cool. Yeah. Perfect. Get up first thing, drink that. Awesome. Yeah. My man. Yeah. Tyler, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you being here.
John, this is great. What an awesome experience. And like, I love seeing the comments and just hearing how many people are engaging here this morning. So awesome. I loved it. Can't wait to be on again.
All right. Now he plays. Oh, my mom just asked a question. So you play field hockey. She played field hockey in college, but you play ice hockey or field
ice hockey. Yep.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. My mom played,
I suppose I'm just a washed up coach now.
Oh, no, man. Picklebacks. Okay. You got to get out of here or this will never stop. You got to get out of here. All right, man.
Hey, this just might have to be maybe just
I told you this will be fun.
Virtual. Yeah. This is awesome.
Anytime you want, man. Take it easy, TK.
Yeah.
All right. Later, man. All right, so that was my guy Tyler from PRX Performance. That was so much fun. And as I said, my mom is watching. So once again, mommy, I'm sorry I put the soup on to warm up, and then I fell asleep yesterday because I was so tired. I actually stayed up longer than I anticipated, and it was rough. But I'm glad I didn't burn the house down. Thank you. So sorry. I am still intending whatever of that soup is left. I'm still having it. So thank you for that. All right. Before we get out of here, let's look at your answers to the question of the day, and we'll do what I learned this week, and then we'll close out. So real quick, question answers. So Sean from Colonial Barbell Club said, this is the question. What do you guys like to see from content creators when we attend events like Home Gym Con or just wherever, right? And let's go up to Sean's question. Let's see here. And his answer was, I'm not questioning my answer. He said, I like seeing all of the new updated products along with interviews with the manufacturers and owners. I'm almost as interested in the people behind the products as much as the products themselves. 100%. I believe firmly that there's tremendous value in hearing the stories, hearing the why that led to a product being created, as much as in just having the product. And I think that is sometimes a better driver of a product sale than just showing the product in the hands of some content creator or influencer, right? Because once you know why the product exists and the problem is supposed to solve, then that helps you connect it to yourself if you have that problem, because sometimes you don't know, well, they put this here for this reason, and then all of a sudden it makes sense, and now you can connect to it. From Carlos, he said, I like to see updates and sneak peeks of future products to come. Okay, so you like to see sneak peeks. 100%. All right. Then Kevin from Home Gym Games says, I want to see budget picks, budget brands more than the big dogs. That makes sense. Especially for those of you guys who are watching from overseas. So maybe Home Gym Con isn't there. You guys may have FIBO, or in Japan, you've got, you don't have stuff that's related to fitness necessarily as far as big conventions. So we are your boots on the ground to take you to places like this. Same thing. I know the people in Germany, the Germans have, they have FIBO, but they don't have a ton of home gym content necessarily. So Home Gym Con is huge for them as far as the content creator. So if you're a content creator watching this, understand that some of the content that you need to create for the overseas brands is how they also let people in their markets find out about the stuff they have. What I mean by that is, we'll use Germany again. So the guys from ATX told us that there are not really many German home gym content creators. So the people in Germany watch American YouTubers to find out about what's available for sale. So they come to Home Gym Con. Gentleman Fitness Club comes to Home Gym Con from Japan, and so on and so forth, so that not necessarily to break into the American market, but so that people back home will find out in the most accessible way what they have available. Okay. So that should help guide you guys and guide all of us in terms of the booths that we want to go check out. Because if you want to grow in Germany, hey, show stuff that the Germans can buy. If you want to grow in Japan, show stuff that the Japanese can buy, along with other things. All right. Just a little tip. All right. And so that is, let's see, make sure we didn't miss any more, and then we'll be all done. Okay. So there, we're good. All right. So that was it. All right. What did I learn this week? Honestly, what I learned really was the value. I mean, I already knew the value of building relationships, but it was impactful to me when we got to HFA. I keep wanting to say Home Gym Con. When we got to HFA and we saw the extent to where the dealers, how fitness industry professionals need to be at that event. Okay. Like, I don't have time in a 1-hour segment to talk about all of the reasons why it's important, if you are a professional in the fitness industry, whether you're home gym or not, for you to be where other fitness professionals are, because you need to be up to date. If you will have a YouTube channel, and I understand that time is valuable, I understand this stuff costs money. I promise you, it hurts whenever we pay for our plane ticket and we get our in hotel rooms to get out to HFA. It hurts. All right. And it is inconvenient. You got to put your life on hold for 3 to 4 days. Okay. We figured out ways to make it work, because HFA isn't always in San Diego, where we have family we can stay with a part of the time. But it's important for us to be there, because we feel like the people who watch our channel deserve to have somebody who's not just guessing about what's going on based upon something that they can look up for themselves by just checking out a website. So it just kind of highlighted that for me. And I think that it's a sort of thing that we're going to emphasize more and more going forward, like trying to be where you guys can't be, so that we can be your eyes and ears to some of the stuff that you might be interested in. And I appreciate all you guys who support us, because you make it possible for us to go to these things, because it does matter when they see the amount of subscribers we have. It helps us get access. We get invited to things that we would not have been invited to before. All right. But nevertheless, keep showing up, keep stacking days. All right. So that is it for today's show. I appreciate my guest, Tyler Klein from PRX Performance, for showing up, helping make this one a success. I appreciate, as always, my lovely wife, Naomi, for being here and co-hosting with me, because the show would not be anything without her on it. We're going to have another great show next week. We're trying to nail down the guests for next week, but I will be revealing who the guest is. Until then, make sure you guys tune in to Mailbag Mondays. We got another round of questions that we're going to answer live. And as always, oh, no, there's one more thing. I want to shout out somebody because they sent me this thing. Where is this here? Where is this thing? Oh, you don't tell me that I didn't upload it. Don't tell me I didn't. Yeah, okay, I did. So let's download this just real quick. Be patient. You guys be patient with me. Let's see if I can't pull this thing up here. I had to share my screen because it was a video that somebody added me to their story. Yeah, there it is. And so I had to screen record it. All right. So yeah. So right there. Okay. So Doc Yak Fitness. He was watching Mailbag Mondays, and I just want to, and he just tagged me in it. So I want to give him a shout out for watching Mailbag Mondays, and he posted that on Instagram, or he posted his Instagram story and then tagged me in it. So I got to check it out, and this was the easiest way for me to give him a shout out. I had to screen record it, like I said, just so I could show it on the show. So shout out to you, my man. Thank you so much for watching Mailbag Mondays. Thank you for watching the channel in general. And I really do appreciate you. Look at you getting after it with those deadlifts, man. And wish you the best of luck, or the best with all your training this year. Thank you. Anyway, so once again, thank you to all of you guys. Appreciate it. Keep on dropping comments. If you're in the replay gang, shout out to you. Throw your comments if you have comments that you want Tyler to address. Keep on tuning in to Mailbag Mondays. And most of all, keep stacking days. All right. Peace. 2 fingers. Time for